Hey, Cheech, man, what happened to basketball, dude? Well, I'm not a basketball head, right?
Right.
Myself. I'm really not a sporty person. So,
Yeah, me neither. Just old, I'm an old school
yeah,
aficionado.
why is that?
'Cause lately I've been on me and Glenn been sharing a lot of reels of like Larry Bird and Dr. J and Kareem. Because I grew up in the era, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s of what I think is the greatest era of basketball.
Wait, and you said the 70s, 90s?
70s, 80s, and 90s.
70s. Yeah, and I
You
think
know.
could it be argued that peak was when Michael Jordan played for the
Oh,
Bulls?
George, yeah. 90s would been early 2000s, I think.
Mhm.
For me, I stopped watching basketball in the 90s. So I just feel like it was more exciting back then. Maybe because I was a kid and I was actually playing, but I loved watching the players and the players like they really played the game with heart and soul
Mhm.
and they pioneered the sport a lot like rock
Now,
comparing it to 70s rock bands.
now you
you
argue
know
that that's not happening with today's basketball?
no, not at all.
And you just pissed off a whole basketball fan.
That's why I don't watch it. I try.
I
Everything's about the 3 point, going for the 3 points. I feel like for me old school basketball is like 70s rock or 80s metal, and new school basketball I think there's some great players out there like Curry and stuff. I mean, there's some killer players, but I just have no interest in it anymore. I want the Knicks to win, obviously,
that's
because
what
of
I
because
say. Like,
because of
go.
Mr. Joe Silkman, because I know
All right, go
Joe,
Knicks.
you know, Joe seen three of the guys, I don't even know their names, that went to, I
Oh,
believe, Villanova. He saw them play together in
oh,
Villanova, and they're on the Knicks
wow.
now, or something like
Okay,
that.
okay.
So I just feel that new school basketball is a lot like new school rock or new school music. It's just overrated and it's a ton of money. I think it's $20,000 to get a seat to see the Knicks
Oh yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
And again,
I hope they
I think
win,
it's like with like basketball games when you look at their forms of entertainment,
Yeah.
and it's funny how much people throw money at the sport.
And now
Um,
gambling is legal, so it's a
Oh, that
big
well,
thing.
gambling,
Yeah.
especially with apps, has been on the rise.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like I see young people gambling, and not even basketball. Well, yes, betting, sports betting is on the
Yeah, yeah.
rise, but they're betting all the time. Gambling is on the rise
Yeah.
again, and I know sports betting is a thing. I
It's
remember
not
seeing.
even it's not even cool. Back in the day, the mob controlled it, and you would have a bookie. My dad, my
Now,
grandfather, they'd
now,
all go to the bookie
now
and
it's
bet
AI.
on, you know,
Now
it's
it's AI.
crazy. It's insane. And you could
I'm
win
kidding. I'm
big.
kidding. I don't know if it's AI, but it. Um, Basically, yeah, do I agree with you? I feel like with Mike, I'm not a basketball head, but I know, like when people say, "All right, LeBron James, new MVP,"
Yeah.
I think people say Kobe Bryant,
Yeah, he passed
the
away. Yeah.
tall guy that he was on also.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like Michael Jordan is like the Michael Jackson. Like he's become so.
Oh yeah.
And think about with
He
basketball shoes, Jordans. I mean,
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
remember Shaquille O'Neal try releasing some shoes, Shaq's. But
Yeah, yeah.
if you were caught with those, you were made fun of.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me growing up in the late 70s and the early 80s was the peak, for basketball.
No, but
All
no,
the way through.
you're not. But that's not because I'm gonna get a little philosophical on you. But
Yeah.
that's not because of your age. Do you think like your age blinds you from what's going on today?
Yeah. Yeah, because I was in the game from first grade to eighth grade. I loved basketball. Then I discovered this thing called bass, and then I gave it up. But I always loved the sport, and I just have a love for the old players. So
Right.
when I watch
And you
these,
actually played basketball. Like you were pretty. I know you were telling me a story offline here.
yeah,
Like you were
yeah,
actually,
I had an outside shot like Larry Bird because I had a hoop in my backyard. So when we didn't, when I was in fourth to fifth grade, if we didn't have practice, the guys would come to my house and we would practice and
Oh,
play.
nice.
And I was out there just like I was playing the bass in my room. I was out there shooting hoop, and I always had obsessions. And that was like basketball was my first obsession as a kid.
That's
From about
interesting.
first grade to eighth
You
grade.
think about like first obsessions, like I remember for me, I've never been sporty myself. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a, even though like, what do you think? I don't know if you think I'm like a heavy set guy or like I've never been sporty. Like never, I played. I thought it was fun, especially for like team building, friends, especially
Oh
when you
yeah,
get a
yeah,
game
yeah,
going. But you think about like your early passions, right? Like for me, one of my early passions was when I was, I guess I wouldn't call myself a video gamer, but video games
yeah,
suck now too. It's the
yeah,
same problem. I feel like video games back then were better
yeah,
than what we see today. Like I know like young temple knights at the temple,
yeah,
they're playing, Fortnites, and I'm just kidding, how it's like
yeah,
they'd get into
yeah.
Fortnites and
It's funny you said video games. Like when Zoe was little, we had Wii Sports Resort, and
right.
that's
And that
when
was such a unique project. Nintendo were kind of like on sort of like they were ahead of their time, but sadly it didn't catch on.
I'm actually thinking about buying one just for the basketball, just because like I
You
um
should.
I, I had gotten so into it with my kid
Right.
playing basketball, and my love of basketball came back, and I
Right.
told you my bowling story, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
you were obsessed with Wii Bowling.
yeah. So I was up all night.
And again, for people who accuse you of like not knowing video games, you are a video gamer. I mean,
I
you
was a video gamer on the Wii Sports Resort. I was obsessed with basketball, bowling, ping pong, and what was the other
on the
one?
Wii Sports, that's
On
really
the Wii
cool.
Sports.
Yeah, I remember I got out of okay at that point when the Wii came out, and I get it, you got it because of your son. When I
Yeah,
got it, I never got it because I was falling out of video games and heading into the academic, more intellectual versus. Then I became passionate about reading, studying, like we talk on the
yeah,
show. And speaking of which, we're going to talk about our boy Viktor Frankl. It was around that time I discovered the book Man's Search for Meaning, became obsessed, lost my video game interest. But it's kind of
yeah,
funny how you lose these interests and then you realize, oh, this is the true passion and
yeah,
things align pretty well with you, right? And I think with you, that was the base
yeah. Oh
that
yeah,
defined you. Like for me, it was philosophy, psychology, and I discovered these fields and I was like, whoa. And it's funny, I tried getting back into video games after, it
yeah,
just wasn't the same. And then I realized the video games are coming out now. It's
yeah.
just not the same anymore. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah. I haven't. I couldn't even play video games like the uh in the oh God, when was it? The early 90s. What was out there? I mean, there was Atari in the 70s. That was the
Oh
best.
gosh, you're going
You
way
know,
back. Yeah, the
that
Atari
was
was one of the first video game. And actually, funny enough, remember Pong?
I played Pong.
Yeah.
My
Right.
uncle who
Do you,
passed away, got arrested, so I had Pong. It
oh,
was so stupid, but it was
I,
so
I,
innovative.
I am I consider myself a amateur philosopher and theologian and psychologist. I also consider myself an amateur historian of many things. One is video game history. Like I
Oh, that's
really got
cool.
obsessed. For example, you asked what came out in the 90s, and especially early 90s, you had the Sega Dreamcast. I remember that. You had this Super Nintendo,
Super
uh,
Nintendo.
and
I remember
PlayStation.
PlayStation. There was Punch Out.
And the arcades, which were still booming.
Oh, well, dude, I grew up in the arcades. Space Invaders,
It-
Asteroids.
right. And I see what you mean. Like I know a lot of people. I know hopefully viewers out there are not negative. And guys, keep it positive, right? Like if you have a different opinion, let's talk. Comment below. But I agree with you. Like something changed where I feel like maybe it's like like the arcade. The idea of the arcade is so cool. It should make a
Mhm.
comeback because it united. It gave
Yeah.
kids a place to go.
Oh, dude, we
And
we used to sneak into the Hilton, the Bagatelle, and it was like for guests that would stay there until we got kicked out for being, Portchester kids and Rye Brook being rowdy. But you'd go in there and you'd play, or you'd go down Rye Playland and you'd go in the arcades
right.
and like I remember, Centipede was my game. I spend like my whole night. If my parents give me $20 to get something to eat or hang out, I spend like 15 on Centipede. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But yeah, it's but going back to basketball for 1 second, basketball influenced me to play the bass,
Now,
which is crazy
why is that?
because when I was young and I played basketball, I hung out with a lot of Afro American kids, African American kids, and what they were listening to was funk music. So we'd come to my house, play basketball in my backyard, and I remember they turned me on to Parliament Funk and the Sugar Hill Gang and Cameo, and it's
What year
all
was this?
bass. This is 77,
And
78,
this
79.
predates that boom in the 90s with Dr. Dre when he rescued the P-Funk records and sampled it and
This
created.
is real funk. This is
No, no,
what
I'm
kids
saying like
listen to.
he
Yeah,
then in
yeah,
hip
yeah.
hop he created G-Funk, which was
Yeah,
his album The Chronic. And Snoop Dogg, it's a doggy dog world as well,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
the West Coast mentality of hip hop. But yeah, it's interesting how that works, huh? Like how one
Yeah.
passion
They
leads
would
to another.
they would be listening and and I'd be like, who's that? And they're like, oh, this is a guy named Curtis Blow, or this is a band called Chic. And here I am learning about their culture, getting turned on, playing basketball, getting turned on to funk, and that bass stayed in my ears. And I owe it, to
It
basketball.
it's an
Before
escape.
metal, before metal,
Right,
before anything, it's
right.
from basketball.
It's inescapable when you discover that those genres that you just mentioned. And one of the things that pops up is the bass playing.
Oh
Which
yeah.
in these type of music, like you said, like funk, and obviously like all the great stuff in like, soul,
Early rap and
early
stuff.
rap, the
Yeah.
bass, was a
Yes.
really big component.
Oh yeah.
And with Cheek, you mentioned Cheek, I mean that bass player is
Oh,
so
Bernard Edwards. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And I just look at him, how I don't understand, like how is he, make bass players great again, right? Like we gotta.
Yeah. I remember being a kid. My two idols were Bernard King from the Knicks and Bernard Edwards from Chic. You know what I
As
mean?
as a little aside, even like I was listening to two things. I was listening, and that's a great story, Cheech. And again, it goes out there that music unites. Like
Oh
even
yeah.
even when I know there's a lot of race tensions, I hope they disappeared. But I feel like
Yeah.
when you it really gets down to it, one of the peace builders is music. And you have like I love, soul, funk,
Oh
disco,
yeah.
which was kind of like African American influenced.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but just speaking of bass players, two things. First, I've been re-listening to the band,
Rick,
and
oh,
I'm listening to their bass player who is
Rick Danko. He's
Rick Danko. I was
he's
watching a documentary. We Were Then Brothers. It's on
yeah.
Amazon Prime. It is about the band's story, and it was captivating. But one of the things I noticed, they were singing Across the Great Divide, and you
Yeah.
see him play his
Oh
like
yeah.
defender, right?
Rick Danko,
What was that bass he was playing?
he played a weird bass.
What was it? It looks like a P Fender though.
He might have played a Fender in the
Okay,
early years.
okay. I, I'm
But
look
I don't know if he played like an Ampeg.
okay.
But
Whatever
maybe
he
it
was
was a
playing, but
Fender. Yeah,
I'm looking at in the movie they show the Last Waltz performances, and like
yeah,
they're playing in also at Pink House,
yeah,
and I'm watching him like, man, what happened to bass players? And then another one, Brian Wilson. I'm watching him.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
Beach Boys. I know they don't get a lot of cred. I give
yeah.
them cred for Pet Sounds, which I consider like one of the greatest
Well,
albums.
he didn't play bass on Pet Sounds.
He didn't, but he was an insane bass player.
Oh, live he was.
He
Yeah,
was
yes,
insane. And if you, I
yeah,
was looking at a cover of one of his songs, and you see how he plays the lines he came
yeah.
up with. But I'm telling you, like the bass needs to make a comeback, and they're
Yeah.
it's just crazy how I feel like I don't know if you would agree with this. I feel like the bass is like the glue of music. Like
It is
it
totally the
it
glue. The bass and the
glues.
drums. It gets people on the dance floor. It gets people headbanging. It gets, think about what it does. In salsa, it gets people moving,
Oh,
the
dude,
boom, the boom, the boom.
salsa.
In funk, it gets you on the dance floor. Boom,
Right.
boom, 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 boom. You know that kind of thing.
Right,
You know
right. Or this one's ding 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 boom ding 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 ding
exactly,
boom. That's the
exactly.
brilliant Queen bassist.
And you hear the opener to Killers by Maiden. I mean, bass is
Oh
it's
yeah,
unique.
talk about
You
talk. It's a
know,
very unique instrument, and I
yeah.
always give our we have to mention our boy Glee Getty, a
Oh yeah,
man who I consider it. Okay, it's so tough. I know that you might judge me. I think the greatest bass player is Paul McCartney. Um,
he is. Yeah,
Second is Glee
yeah.
because what, and again, now we're talking about rock, and
And
then
I think Getty would agree with you on that 100%. You know what I
right,
mean?
but Geddy with the bass, I was listening to, man, you know what's funny? Rush is so good. I was listening to the first record recently.
Amazing.
Whoa, like, and then I was listening to Fly By Night and dum, boom, 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 and like you just hear those bass lines and like,
Listen to Before and After
all right.
on the first album.
And the bass player, and one more from Geese. I was re-listening and rewatching a live performance of Trinidad, and
Yeah,
see him just like jamming. Like I feel
yeah,
like that kind of. I know it's tough with the AI and Pro Tools, and
yeah,
but I feel like artistically, music like the painters have to pick up a paintbrush and like the
yeah,
bass they actually have to pick up a bass
yeah.
and
Like
I
there's
feel like they should teach it in schools. They should have a class on like
yeah,
an instrument, not only violin, although it's great, like cello,
yeah,
they kind of do it, but I feel like these cool instruments get neglected, especially
yeah.
like early childhood. So think about it, if you don't form the next bass player generation, I think that's one of the reasons why music isn't that good. I feel like this generation failed to pass on the good stuff.
You know what the kids did? They became experts at being cover bass players. You go on YouTube and any kid could play Free Will, note for note. A
Right,
12-year-old. I'm
right.
not I'm you know what? I'm not impressed. Technically I am. Yeah, you're 12 and you can play it note for note. But the problem is no one's writing bass lines
Right.
like Free
And,
Will. So the
and tell me, Cheech,
creativity,
as a
yeah,
question for you, the creative here, the because you actually played the bass.
yeah.
What does it take to create like a bass line or a bass melody? Like, what does it take?
Um Well, for me, what I got to do is I have to listen to the song. Like I'll use like Potter's Field, for instance, like Some People Should Die Slowly, you know, that song.
Is it the one that
So,
goes dun
yeah.
dun
So it starts off with the bass.
dun
Yeah.
Yeah, like how Bobby goes like,
Yeah. So I had to
yo, shout out to Bobby.
Bobby Rules.
Also, plug
I
in
would
for Potterfield VX Bronx
thank you.
Rock. I mean, let's make
Definitely.
Bronx Rock a thing here. We should make Greenwich Rock too. There's gotta be a band that has to come out of here.
Exactly. I listen to the chords and then I usually whatever I play first is my original. It's like writing, a book or writing a
Right,
paper or
right.
something.
Now, can I ask you,
The original line that I write 99% of the time is what I keep.
right? And it really is building on what you know, right? From like music theory and
Oh, yeah.
prior.
To be a bass player, you need to know four things. You need to know a major chord, a minor chord, a diminished chord, and an augmented chord. Major scales, dominant scales, and minor scales. And some pentatonic scales.
So you think like music theory is essential in order to like,
Yeah, but it's not complicated music theory. You need to know major and minor pentatonic scales,
right,
major scales, a
right.
dominant scale. What else did I say? And the four triads that go with that, and then just you need to know rhythm and you need to know melody.
And this
So
is why you would go to like a music school, right? To learn from the
yeah,
great.
but you don't have to like Getty Lee didn't. You know what I mean? Like
That's what's
so,
amazing. Yeah, I
yeah.
feel like there's so much to build on, but
I
yeah,
usually build on the foundation of the groove first, rhythm, and then I'm very melodic. So I'll bounce off the melody of the song, and I'm very technical. So then I'll add like, that the technique in there. So a little bit of Geezer, a little bit of Steve Harris, Getty, Jocko. Shout out to Billy Sheehan.
yeah.
Thanks for the like. uh, you know, so that kind of thing. But I love one of my favorite things to do is improvise. Just go out there like a jazz musician, which we've been doing a lot, and just jam and jam and jam
Jazz is
and
like
just
next level because this time it's like all improvisation, right? Building on scales and
yeah. But
like actually
even
live improvising.
Cream, like listen to Cream.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Cream did it, you
And this
know.
is based on the cello bass, right? Like that, the
The
bass,
the upright
which,
bass, yeah.
which is
Jack
anyone
Bruce
that
took that.
plays that instead of, I mean, eventually the African Americans were making the boom, 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 boom with
Yeah,
like a finger. But back in
yeah.
the day, it was like string, right? So now,
Yeah, it was classical, but then they took it and they somehow incorporated it. It's like that's a good point, and they
yeah.
incorporated it
I mean,
into
we'll
jazz.
talk about it in the Tao of Music series, which little plug in for that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
man, dude, yeah, basketball, dude. I can't say I'm a fan of it. I'm not a sports person, but there could be some truth in what you say that maybe old school basketball is the not old but eternal school.
It is eternal school for me, you know.
I feel like basketball players were like more talented back then. Like I don't know, like
I mean, no disrespect to these guys
no,
now.
no, no, no. They
They're
train,
good. I
dude.
think the
I
guys,
saw a live Nets game. I was not impressed, dude. Like I thought, I
but
don't know. I
if you saw the Nets in the early '80s with if you could time travel with a guy named Buck Williams, forget about it. You would be, you know, I've been to Knicks games in the '80s. I seen this stuff live. And I remember as a kid being in awe. Like going to my first concert was going to see the Knicks and seeing Bernard King, you know. So it's like,
and and
oh,
soccer too. I mean, like any
yeah,
sports. I feel like there was a golden age. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe like there was actually a love of the sport. Like I'm
yeah.
not sure. Of course they train, and I'm pretty sure they have like athletic, uh, trainers, scientists, reaching full performance. But maybe like we talk about.
I sucked at soccer because my thing was I need to use my hands.
Right, right. Well,
Maybe,
soccer you got to have like agility, like
yeah. But just a quick two amazing things, and I'm going to say something positive about the existential vacuum known as the temple. Two amazing things about the temple that I will never forget for the rest of my life. I got to meet two heroes, Roger Glover from Deep Purple, who I spent a lot of time with for a couple
mm,
years. When he would come in, we'd hang out, go to Starbucks and stuff. And then one day, I almost said the name of the place. The temple was going to do a cooking show with new NBA stars with the classic NBA stars. So right before you got there, we had a really cool priest. Guy was like awesome. And you know the stupid meetings in the morning. So I would go, you know, like nobody goes, but I went. And that, I'm glad I went that day. And he goes, "All right, everybody, today a special celebrity's coming in here. His name is Daryl Dawkins."
mm,
Now, Daryl Dawkins was on the Philadelphia 76ers in the era I'm talking about, 78, 79, 77. And I had his basketball digest. He would break the backboards. They would break it. He literally
right,
smashed. He was the first guy to do that.
right.
I almost had like a panic attack. So I ran up to him and he's like, "All right, I know Cheech, you're gonna get to meet him. Don't worry about it." Nobody gave a shit. Dawkins comes in. You think Glenn is tall? Forget about it. This guy is like he had to go in the back room where the baler is. He had to dunk his head, you know, put his head underneath there. I hung out with this dude for 3 hours. My hero from my old school basketball days. And I went out to his car. I think he had some fancy car, like a Bentley. And he's like, "Here, this is for you." It was his biography. And he signed it.
Mm.
So that was like my Daryl Dawkins story, and this is before, you know, this is like 2003, or you know, before cell phones and stuff like that. I had a flip phone. I say, "Oh man, I wish I had pictures of it," but I got to meet Dawkins at the temple.
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and that brought me back, you know.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But speaking of basketball, nothing. Well, actually, the existential vacuum is pretty funny. Also, I haven't seen any famous people in the existential vacuum recently. Have you?
I wouldn't know famous people
I
anymore.
don't even know. I
I
I
think
know when they make a big deal. Like people will be like, oh,
uh,
there was a famous, I think, baseball player that came there.
a,
Like
a basketball player
oh,
came in.
basketball. Yeah, I
The
remember
Raph got a
a
picture.
certain existential cashier was like freaking out. I was like, I don't care. Cool.
I remember when in my Grand Union days, my boss, who was the greatest boss in the world, this guy Frank DeLuca, he was a hockey nut. Like, I mean, he used to coach hockey and he played semi-pro. And one of the hockey players' wife would come in, and sometimes the hockey player would come in. But whenever the wife came in, Rangers were in the the Stanley Cup, and the wife was so hot. She'd come in and like he would always be on top of her, and all these people would be talking to her. And then one day she came up to me and she's like, "You don't like hockey, do you?" I said, "No." I said, "I really don't." I said, "I'm sorry." She's like, "Thank God, thank God." Could you just like give me my fruit and could we have a normal conversation? She was so happy to meet somebody.
Interesting, right?
who- Yeah, although I liked hockey back in the 70s, I was gonna say, my shit is all old school. That's what my uh
No,
pre
and you think of my interest. I love philosophy from like 2,500 years ago. I don't
oh
like the
dude,
new stuff. See,
no.
I hate
Honestly, I
live on
think
the air. I have a problem. Even though I like reading existentialism,
yeah,
I can tear it apart because there's so much flaws.
yeah,
And I don't like, truth be told, I don't like new modern philosophy.
yeah,
Like I'm more of the old, even theology. I'm more of we're talking about 11th century, Thomas Aquinas,
yeah.
12th
Oh
century.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
I
but yeah, there's
honestly
something. It's not even old school. I think it's called the eternal school.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna sound like an old man or whatever, but I think everything new kind of sucks, in my opinion. Anything that's new for me doesn't do anything
Well,
to
it's
me.
got to be weighed against the old, and I know some people are going to be like, "That's unfair."
Right. When
And
you
what do you think about
compare
this
it,
idea? Like, is that unfair? What do you think about that?
it is to the new generation because that's all they know. The new generation only knows what they know. So if somebody said to me in the 80s, this basketball era sucks. The 60s is better with Will Chamberlain. I would have been like, what? This is horrible. That's Will Chamberlain was like 9 feet tall and everybody was like 5 foot tall. The game's changed. So I would have fought them back then. So it's not fair. But as the older I get, I just kind of feel that I'm not into anything new. I'm just back. I'm an
No,
archaeologist.
no, and it's funny because what ends up happening that you can explain this in so many levels. The novelty wears off because as you
Yes.
keep getting older, one of the things that happen and your brain is shifting. Like
Yes.
you actually start getting a little more like you start seeing like what matters in life and talking at the existential vacuum about basketball for like 8 hours, you realize this is such an empty conversation. It leaves me with nothing. And those are people that are outside
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Plato's cave. And then you are one of those that have seen and realize, why are we doing this? Like, why are
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
giving these people like so much money? And why are we forming our lives around these people?
Well, this is what gets me mad. The old school basketball players, I would look up, like Larry Bird or Dr. J, their what do you call it? What they made, what their value. What is that called? Their net worth,
Net worth.
and it's like 75, 50 million. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, some of the greatest players, right? 50 million, and a guy like Curry, a new guy who's probably one of the best shooters they're saying ever, makes like 250 million. And I'm just like, it's not fair that Dr. J didn't
Well,
make that kind of money.
but what I will say is that speaks to what the culture, and I think particularly American culture, what they value.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because a lot of kids, and again, I'm not sure I would have to really reflect on this, but you're right. Like another example is Leo Messi. I don't even know how much millions he earns.
Yeah,
Millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
yeah,
A number so staggering. Now, yeah, he deserves it, right? He put in the work. Um, but when you compare, let's say like an
yeah.
engineer, which I think is more important than a soccer player.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
But this is the new gladiatorial entertainment. Like this is what people
Yep.
throw their money at.
And you got to pay their salaries with high
Well,
ticket
it pays
prices.
itself in the ticket prices and cross endorsements.
Exactly.
So companies, again, I think to understand here is like, it's part of greed. And is it for the love of sport? Maybe. I mean, and again, I'm not a sporty person, so
Yeah.
I can't, maybe I'm the wrong person.
I'm not either.
I
I'm
frankly think it's a waste of time, but it's just time spending.
yeah.
But,
I'm just
but
a basketball historian in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and I love it. I love watching the games, but not anymore. I'm not into basketball,
Right.
but
I'm definitely not into basketball, but I heard the Knicks won, so go Knicks.
oh yeah,
You
I'm
know,
always gonna root for the Knicks because like that was like my
they're
team
class.
back in the
I feel
day.
like they're part of New York too. I mean, I'd rather
Oh
have,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, even though
So,
New York is kind of slipping, but that's a whole nother story.
oh, I know.
All right, man. But dude, but what is going on, brother? How's life?
It's pretty good, Day at the Existential Vacuum. We renamed the temple, just so
Yeah,
you
the
know.
existential vacuum.
I sent you some Frenchy videos. It's my
Dude, I
Thursday.
wish we can put him on the show.
I know. I
Like
know.
imagine starting our show like you had him say, what did you have him say?
And Rand rules.
Imagine and ran rules.
Yeah.
Did
Do with thy wealth.
you see Joe's comment? He says, "You better not unleash the black." He
I
said,
know. Give him
"Good
a crap.
soul."
Imagine giving him a
I was
book.
like, "Joe, no, he's all id and ego."
Give him a book of spells by Crowley. See what happens. If there'll be nothing
Gee,
left of that store.
what is this spell?
What did I just do? What is it?
Imagine he like unleashed a spell on like a temple priest.
Who is AWAS?
He visited me.
The Book of Thoughts. I'm reading it.
Oh man, but yeah, man, dude, life is good.
Yeah, man.
Uh, on today's Cheech and Manny show, we're gonna continue our Viktor Frankl talk, right? We're gonna be examining a little bit from our perspective, logotherapy, which logo stands for meaning and word.
Yep.
So word therapy, the logos, divine meaning, divine word.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, man, I'll throw it to you, and then we'll have a nice
Sure.
discussion. Hopefully, it's fruitful.
Yeah, we'll jump right into it. So, logotherapy. Um, and it is basically about meaning. It's centered school of psychotherapy. It is based on the premise that primary human drive is not pleasure like Sigmund Freud or power like Alfred Adler, but the search for purpose and meaning. The core principles. Okay, so we'll take this one by one. The philosophy triad. Now you know about the philosophy triad.
Explain.
Okay, so there's three.
Go slow for our viewers out there, and then we'll.
There's three meanings to his philosophy for logotherapy. Freedom of the will.
Now pause there. Pause there. We'll go slow. Freedom of the
Oh,
will.
okay, yeah,
Freedom of the will. So we had a lot of episodes on this idea of the will.
yeah. We're
Uh,
obsessed with the will.
yes, and it's sort of like a weird, nah, I should say weird thing, but it's very philosophical. It's like a metaphysic. There are a lot of perspectives. Now the freedom of the will. Now this is interesting because Frankl. Now let me ask you a quiz question. How did
Yeah,
he figure this out? The freedom of the will. When did he make this realization?
I I would think when he was in the concentration camp.
That's when it was. He
Yeah,
realized that the will is free. The Nazis can do anything they want to his body,
yeah.
but they can't control how he can interpret what's happening.
Right, right.
This is where, and then this also, there's a lot of philosophy and theology because, you know, we're not going too much detail to how those will be like for our episode. We have Will episodes. Go watch that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
and Crowley, we said, his famous maxim, do what that will shall be the whole of the law, right?
Right.
Do what you want to will, right? Do whatever you
Yeah.
want. But for Franco, it's like the freedom of the will. Now, and explain like
Yeah.
why is that important?
It always goes, the will always goes back to Crowley for me. You know what I mean? And I know this gets you a little nervous, because I know, but I don't know why Crowley stuck with
Well,
me with the will.
let's like do a little Socratic dialogue here. So
Okay.
you say Crowley now going back here, and again, I
Yeah.
guess this would be kind of like the esoteric era, but going back here now, what was Crowley's idea of the will? Like and how would you how would you reconcile it or synthesize it with Frankel's idea?
It's very similar. It's very similar.
It's very and remember
Uh,
what I told you
yeah.
that Crowley sounds. I don't know if you knew this, but Frankl had an influence on like the emerging New Age and pop psychology movement.
I totally. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole Aleister Crowley thing again, but like he's coming up a lot. He was a scholar. Besides, forget the magician part of the guy. Forget the crazy Abermane the Mage rituals. The guy was I think he was a Rhodes Scholar in Oxford. So this is a brilliant man with a brilliant mind. So Frankl, he probably read. He died in 49. So I wouldn't think Frankl had an influence on him, but I'm sure he was studying Freud a little bit and maybe Adler. He
I do
definitely studied
wonder.
some
Well, did
psychology.
you read his biography or did
Oh,
you?
Crowley? Yeah, he basically studied everything.
And that's in the biographies. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
everything we talk about,
All,
man, the
all
man
I know
studied.
is that he was at Oxford, which, by
Yeah,
the way, that's an impressive achievement in itself.
yeah,
He was at Oxford and he stumbled upon in the libraries, cutting his teeth, reading the old Gnostic secret knowledge. And he actually did the research. I know a lot. I know,
oh
um,
yeah,
obviously, I have a few problems with like where his
yeah, yeah,
teleology
yeah.
and but
Forget
he
what
was
he
he
did.
said that he got the dusty books and discovered all this like the Oxford Library had a
Yeah,
huge collection.
yeah,
And obviously, since they weren't Catholic, right? So they didn't ban any books. They
yeah,
had huge,
yeah,
um because we know that the Catholic Church in in the Renaissance and Middle Ages, like
yeah.
well, I mean, like,
Bam.
but some people that they didn't want to recant were
Oh
burned
yeah,
at the stake and all that. But
oh yeah. He
what? Okay,
studied.
and it's interesting though with the idea of the will. Where did it come from though? Because
For Crowley, I don't know where his idea from will came.
now, is it
Honestly,
philosophical? Is it metaphysical? Or is it mystical?
it's very Nietzsche. I know he read a lot of Nietzsche.
So he was a nihilist.
That most definitely.
I'm joking.
Crowley,
Little joke. Little joke.
Crowley was definitely, on the fringes of that.
Right. No, and he would have been behind Nietzsche because he did not like religion.
Yeah, no,
Because his dad wasn't his dad like a pastor or something like.
but he knew the Bible just
Right.
as good as a priest would. Like, this is why the guy to me is so fascinating. So Nietzsche's will to power would have been Crowley's idea of where he got do what thy wilt, in my opinion, I think.
So going back, okay, and again, that idea, where did that idea come from? Like, do what thy will be the whole of the law. And you definitely subscribe to the Crowleyan version of the will. So
Oh,
it's
oh,
free will.
there's
It's your
yeah,
your will. If let me see if I can like explain this.
and Ayn Rand, and Crowley,
What's
and Viktor Frankl too.
right?
If I had to make a
Yeah,
baby.
and there's this idea, and I'll be honest with you, like in theology, especially like if you use biblical theology and Christian theology, um, the will is free. Like
Yeah,
God created it, free will is divine. Like
yeah,
it's actually a thing. So and it's just funny. Now let me ask you a question, a quiz question, right?
yeah,
Teacher's you're passing the test here.
yeah,
Um, now, Frankel, where
yeah.
was the will in the world of psychology? What was going on?
Where was his will in the
The
world of
idea of the
psychology
will in the mind.
during Frankl's time? Um, well, I have another episode on that, and I'd have to go back. The next after this is the
Well,
will, and
want me to
I have
simplify it?
yeah, because I have Adler's will and I have
Yeah.
Freud's will in
In
there
the
as well.
world of psychology, it
Oh,
did not.
meaning. Oh,
It,
there was no
it
will.
did not exist. No.
Right, right,
Freud thought that you didn't have a will, your id controlled you. You are
right.
your id, super ego, and ego.
Yeah,
Adler thought, well, no, it's more like we don't really have a will, but outside the external, we are
yeah,
motivated by social forces that compel our
right.
decisions. Frankl, in the world of psychology, where psychology had a long while to catch on because psychology is a
Well,
science.
wait a second now. Ayn Rand would have been talking about the will. Not that she's psychology, she's philosophy. But
But,
now
but when was she writing?
in the 30s and 40s, or even earlier, right? Because Ayn Rand was 75 and
But
that
her
dying
idea was
year.
more objectivism, but it
Yeah.
was shrouded in too much language. So people really had to think about like what exactly she's talking about. And she was now she's we should do an episode on her of how and
Oh,
we
definitely.
do have one too on her will. I don't know if I released it.
Yeah, no, we do. Yeah, you
Yeah.
did with free will.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking about, but she's not a psychologist in
No,
terms
she's
of,
not.
and again,
She
I'm
doesn't
not,
count.
no, and again, I'm not separating the fields. They should be together. But
Yeah, yeah.
psychology was adamant on, first of all, no religion,
Right.
forget religion because of Freud. They thought religion was some sort of like, childhood delusion.
Yeah.
No theology. Philosophy, we're wasting time because we need to figure out how does the mind think before
Right.
we start setting, you know, and that's why, for example, like, Freud, he constructed a philosophy as like first principles. Now, the
Yeah.
problem is that it took a while to realize, wait a minute, Frankl realized, guys, I think there's something here with the will. And I
Yeah.
think, what is the will? Well, let's go back to like Greek philosophy, right? And he
Right.
took it back a little bit, and you realize that the will is that thing inside of you that, first of all, a lot of people say, where is the will?
Right.
But and you got to break it down. Like you really got to define your terms in terms of like what exactly the will is. Not when Frankl releases his theory, like, humans, let's go back here. Let's settle
Right.
some
Right.
fundamentals and freedom of the will. Okay, keep
Right.
going. Second.
Oh, okay. Well, that was freedom of the will. That's the intro. Humans are not completely determined by biology or
Right. Now,
environmental.
then you know where that came from. Who inspired that idea? There one famous biologist.
Uh, Einstein? No.
Nope, Mr. Charles
Oh,
Darwin.
Darwin. Yeah,
When
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
released his landmark theory, um, evolutionary theory, they realized
Right.
that humans don't have a will. They are more propelled by biological forces. Again, Frankel's ahead of his time because he was starting to realize, guys, I don't think this is the case. Like I
Yeah.
I experienced something else.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And he experienced like the worst of the worst, and he that will kept him going. His
That's when you realize like there's some sort of like metaphysic to this. Like it goes
yeah,
beyond biology.
yeah.
And
Like some people break because they don't have the will, and
right,
and
right,
that when we get into the haters, I'm going to talk about a few of those.
right.
There's a lot of haters on him. Or did we talk? Wait, did we talk about the haters the last time?
Now, yeah, maybe
I think we might.
maybe we touched upon
We
it.
did. Wasn't Rollo May? Um, I forgot who came up with Gestalt therapy.
Oh no, that's way later. I forgot his name, but that's
But
I kind of
he that guy, whoever came up with Gestalt therapy, he hated on him because he said something like, "It's not fair that you survived. Was it Auschwitz? Auschwitz, you
uh,
know, and you were just stronger, but other people were weaker. So what makes you so special? You know what I mean? Like
right,
something like that. In
right.
other words, which is
Well,
kind
they
of
started that could be a whole nother thing and it's another section, but
yeah,
we'll focus it. And just one more thing on the will is that in classical philosophy, and again, think about it. And logos. Cheech, another quick question. What is logos?
Knowledge for Greeks. It's a Greek word for knowledge, right? I believe.
So logos is the divine word, reason. So,
Okay.
and again, I feel like Frankl was going back to basics, like to
Yeah.
to first principles. That's what he's trying to do with logotherapy. We need to figure out what is man's end.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
this is where he comes up with, well, let's settle, let's first of all, it's kind of proven that we do have the will. Like
Yeah.
and again later on this is going to be developed. My fear is scholasticism. They in medieval theology, they had it right. They
Yeah.
developed their own psychology, even though psychology will say that's not scientific. Well,
Yeah.
that's completely something else because they did prove that we do have a will that is, it's central. It's like moral responsibility, and like
Yeah.
it prompts you, like you're born free. That's the
Yeah.
free will, right? And that is what Frankl is talking about. And he's
Hmm.
trying to diagnose the neuroses of the time.
Right.
And
Right.
you think about it, when you lack that free will. For example, when Frankl was in the Holocaust camp where they took away his free will,
Yeah, four of
right?
them, four
They
different
took
ones.
away his human agency, his ability to act.
Yeah.
Then he realized, all right, so maybe the will is not here, but I realized, but I'm free in my mind.
Yeah.
The Nazis, the Gestapo cannot get to my mind. And he realized
Yeah.
he had this, it's weird because it's common
And
sense.
I feel like that every day.
Well, it's like when you go into the existential vacuum and you're grinding and you're.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But in your mind, you can put on Iron Maiden and like you're free.
Exactly.
And that's why the
Yeah.
people that are most happiest escape in their minds.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's where the power of thought is very
Right.
powerful,
And then
you know.
back to Crowleyanism. Now, I can tear it apart. I have a huge problem with Crowley, like huge.
No, no, I'm glad you're seeing some positives in
Yeah, yeah.
his
I,
scholarly
I,
abilities.
I will
Forget
admit.
forget the sicko sex addict, heroin addict,
My boy,
aggravated
if he
mage.
was around today, he would be canceled. He would be
Oh
next
yeah.
to Epstein. Like he would
Oh,
be.
oh, he was nuts, you know.
He was nuts. But I will
He
say,
was an abusive guy,
yeah, he
you
was
know.
definitely someone that
Yeah,
was off,
yeah.
um, and addicted to so many addictions.
Oh yeah,
But giving Crowleyanism, and I made that word up, but Crowley his due.
yeah.
Crowley in discovered in some sort of like idea that the will is free. And so
Right.
we're not doing the Ten Commandments. No.
Yeah.
There is no God. Back to that Nietzsche idea.
Eh,
The
I
law,
think
the law is the will. It is the
right,
whole of the law. Do what you want.
right,
Now,
right.
you ask Crowley, let's say we talk to Frankl. Well, Frankl, what is it then? Come to me for a session in logotherapy. Crowley, come to me in Thelema and we'll find out using these transcendental principles that I discovered in so many secret knowledge and magic books and religions.
Right, right. And
And
you got to
matter of
remember,
fact, I am
he was,
creating mine own church.
yeah, he was in the Freemasons. He was in the Order of the Golden Dawn, which they have all this secret knowledge. Um, I think Crowley's example of the will is straight influence from Nietzsche, and he just
It would be
took it
interesting.
out and he spit it out in his
I,
own way.
I would love to do like a scholarly dive into like how he came up with those ideas. Just his track. And
Yeah.
obviously I have a problem with his overall like,
Right,
project.
right, right. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but that idea that, you are free, for example, to love whoever you want, without putting a judgment on that, he would subscribe to that. And this would have an
Yeah.
influence when John Lennon realizes there's nothing you can do that can't be won. There's nothing, John Lennon says, all you need is love. All you
Yeah.
need is love, right? But then the smart philosophers were like, well, first of all, what is love, though? And notice that
Right.
Frankl doesn't talk about love. That's not the
No.
motivating force. For Crowley, there.
Well, maybe like love yourself a little bit, putting because when you put meaning to something, right? You gotta kind
Well,
of
you tell me, is
love.
that what you discovered in Frankl?
Um, well, when you love something, you're making yourself happy.
But what if that thing that you love is causing your life to be meaningless?
Well, then you got to find something else to get
So
meaning.
love cannot be the answer because it can go skewed.
But loving yourself, like loving loving music gives me meaning. So it makes me love my that meaning makes me love myself.
Right, but then I would ask you, what is love? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Again, it's just Socrates.
Well, anyway, dude, we're doing a logotherapy session right now.
Right, right.
This would Frankel like sitting with a very smart like logotherapy is just philosophy. It's just literally a
It
Socratic.
is because I'm going to get to the Socratic
Well, keep going, keep
dialogue.
going. We said that we're gonna tackle these points in probably like 20 minutes or 40 minutes
Yeah,
each point.
but the crazy thing is, which makes me upset, like you can't find a logotherapist. Google a logotherapist in
No,
America.
it would be a philosopher, but a smart one. No, logotherapy fell out of fashion because then things, and this was because of the cognitive behavioral therapy revolution, where
Yeah,
now we want more evidence, empirically tested therapies. Like
yeah,
if they don't pass this benchmark, they're not therapies that schools should focus on, and the
yeah,
government gets funding. So it's a problem, but logotherapy should be taught in a school of philosophy, like right philosophy in terms
right.
of understanding, for example, like, but again, it's kind of odd. I would just say just teach Greek philosophy. That is logotherapy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like the good therapist should be taught
I
philosophy.
mean, it did take off in Austria and Europe at the time in the 50s and 60s, well into the 70s. People were doing logotherapy.
And what's so novel about it that this was not found in psychology. Psychology was overtaken by behaviorism. You
Yeah,
had also Freudianism and the
right.
psychoanalytic movement, and
Yep.
you had Nietzscheanism, which was like
Yeah,
deep trenched, and psychology was becoming so behavioristic, reducing man not as
yeah,
free will agents, but determined by some psychological force. And they base this on like so-called experiments. Uh,
yeah,
so that's the problem that we're seeing in Frankel's time.
yeah, yeah. Wow. It's getting heavy already, man. It's getting hot in here. Um, so let me see. So where did I leave? So freedom of the will. Humans are not completely determined by biology. That was okay. That was Darwin. Um, all right, so I'll go to my point two. Will to meaning. Finding meaning is a human primary motivation. When this drive is blocked, people's experiences an existential vacuum characterized by boredom, apathy, and emptiness.
Now, this is when, for Frankl, and again, we can disagree with this, but just if we're looking at his ideas here in like the
Yeah,
psychotherapeutic world and humanistic psychology, which for shortly in a few years you're going to have an American Carl Rogers who's going to also put out
yeah.
his theories. And again, very commonsensical, but um, now, do you think the existential vacuum exists? Like, what do you think?
Oh, fuck yeah. I live it. Yeah, I
Explain.
don't live it. I don't live it. But um so when we go to the existential vacuum, there's people that we know that have no meaning. They're stuck in that existential vacuum. That's the power that they have. Where when I go, I'm there to add some Crowleyism in this. I'm there on a conditioned will basis. But those people don't come home. I come home and I do a podcast, I play my bass. These people don't have anything. You know what I mean? They're stuck in that existential vacuum, and that's their whole life.
And
They're
think of that idea, a vacuum that sucks away existence.
and
Like,
it sucks away your dream. And I'm not talking about the existential vacuum we work at. I'm talking about any kind of job. You know what I mean? Any kind of job that you've given up on, your dream, and you fell for the existential vacuum and you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, like your true will versus your conditions.
And,
Well,
and,
it's
and in
it's very
Frankalian,
similar.
and
It's
it's
very
very
similar.
similar. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Crowley was sort of like a weird pop psychologist. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. So, if people are confused about the existential vacuum, it basically says, I mean,
Now, let me
well,
ask you, do you think lack of religion causes an existential vacuum?
no, no, you don't have to be religious. I mean, you could
No,
be an
no, no,
eight
no, no, no. Not that you don't have a lack of religion, a
mm,
lack of also faith.
in yourself or in a higher
Well, let me
force.
ask you, a peasant in 15th century, a serf, did they
Mhm.
experience the existential vacuum? Little quiz question.
Um, well, they didn't have much going on, but maybe that surf went
The
home.
the answer is no. Most serfs were content, believe it or not. And it's crazy.
Really? But how do
Yeah,
you know that surf didn't go home and had a sketchbook and would draw?
it could be
And
true.
you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like if you go home and you just draw sketches and it makes you happy, if you go home and I don't know, do pottery or quilt. I know they did back in the day.
Well, what you're talking
That's
about
so,
is the idea of doing arts and crafts, like something
or
because
something creative or something, not
right.
sitting around
Well,
watching the
girls, for
Knicks.
example,
Like
used
like
to
watching the
women
Knicks is
women
not.
used to do no, that's no, because that would lead you in the existential vacuum once you lose belief
Yeah,
in that. No. For example, like girls used to crochet. Guys
right.
used to build, like but what I'm trying to tell you is that back then, now mind you, there were people that were questioning the meaning of their lives. The difference is that the serfs had faith in God, the life will get better, right?
Oh, see, I
So,
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
well, I consider myself like a medieval historian and study,
Yeah,
but now Frankl in modern times something happened and it's worse today. Now you mentioned a great example. You go to the existential vacuum. You
yeah,
grind 8 hours, you're getting yelled at by so many people.
yeah.
No one respects you, let's be honest. No one
No,
respects
no, nobody
anybody
does.
there. Co- Um,
No.
what would you want to call what do you want to call the clientele in the extended vacuum?
Oh my
Suckers?
God.
Suckers. They're vacuums. These
Yeah,
vacuums are just especially the worst. No one says
yeah,
any thank yous. It's very rare. And that's
yeah,
okay because you're getting paid, right? You're getting
yeah,
paid
yeah, yeah,
by
yeah.
the hour. Your worth is
And,
measured.
and God forbid you do get a good customer, like our good friend Dave, David Lynch, or whoever, and I start to talk music or whatever, they look at you
You're
like,
building a human relationship.
yeah, what are you doing? It's almost like you're talking, and nobody bothers me anymore
I
about
agree
it.
with you,
But
man.
you know,
No,
but
and
when me and you, God forbid,
and again, like I feel
we
like work
caused
should be about community, about relationship, and
me
they
and you
don't
were
view it that way.
Mordecai and Rigby. We
No,
were we were the
dude,
problem.
but we were better than Mordecai and Rigby. We actually worked and talked. Mordecai and Rigby didn't do anything and just
No,
pissed
they
off
walked the back.
Benson. See
Yeah.
we're not that bad now. We know
No,
some
no.
uh existentials at the existential vacuum that we'll call like the regular people that work at the existential
The
vacuum
regular
existential.
people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
The regular people, I love that. The like regular show, the regular people there, we know some types that do that, like that slack off.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't. And
No,
matter of
we
fact,
work.
we build relationships with customers. Like they want to come back and they don't want to do that. But anyway, going back
Right.
to the existential vacuum idea. Now let's say you grind 8 hours standing up, you get home. Um, Now
Yep.
you think you're gonna put on the Knicks game and open up a beer and eat chips or whatever, and this gives your life meaning, right? According to you. Well, when push comes to shove, what's gonna end up
Yeah.
happening is
Right.
that no,
Yeah.
you're gonna wake up and you realize, man, if I can quote Pink Floyd song, Time, right? In the song
Yeah.
Time by Pink Floyd, uh, they sing about this. They were singing about the existential vacuum. And, you know, I'm going to quote some lines here from Pink Floyd's song, waiting for someone or something to show you the way. tired of lying in the
Yeah.
sunshine, staying home to watch the rain. Um, wh- and you are young and life is long. Think about the young regulars at the existential
Yeah.
vacuum, and there's time to
Oh,
get
oh yeah, yeah,
stuck.
yeah. But
And
that are going
then
to be stuck there.
one day you find 10 years have got behind you, and then you're going to enter and then you're going to work 10 years. You're balding, you're ugly, you're fat. I'm not saying that you think this about yourself.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
I'm 50. I'm just gonna put on the next game. And 10 years later, you do the same thing for 10 years straight. Dude,
Right,
the surf, on the other hand, didn't have that. So
right.
they had to completely something else. So what I'm trying to tell you is like that idea that Frankel's realizing that, man, people are lacking so much meaning. This is causing like people to commit suicide, having
Yeah,
depression, because this does cause a Pink Floyd in Dark Side of the Moon on the song Time is realizing, whoa, 50 years have gone by and I've done nothing. Like I
right,
didn't
right,
do
right.
anything with my life except getting yelled at by
And that and the way you got to change that. You have to,
right.
but only you can do that. If you're content being that person that goes to
And let's
work,
be thinking about
comes
it. You
home,
tell me, is there people that are actually content with that existence? Like, do you think
we're the one percenters, man.
that that's true? And this is where I argue, without going too much detail, that religion plays a role because you realize that no matter what happens, like God is good, life is good.
Yeah.
I have a job, you're grateful.
Right, right. You got
This,
to have gratitude. You
right.
got to believe in something, you
A
know.
lot of young, you and I are old school like that, where you and I, now obviously a little bit different paths, but we kind of
Right.
unite, where we
Yeah.
realize no matter what happens, I'm grateful that I'm getting paid. I'm happy that I get to talk with my best friend here across you know, I'm happy that I get to work with great people. I'm
Right,
happy
right.
that I have a family, that I have that idea of gratitude, thankfulness. Now, how can
Yeah.
I give back? This would be like a logotherapy session. How
Right.
can I give myself and express my gratitude, right?
Right, right, right.
And this is the idea. But again, the existential vacuum, sadly, and I think it's so relevant today because you see a lot of young regulars there, dude, lacking meaning, lacking
I
purpose.
feel bad for a lot of the kids that, and I say kids like your age because you guys are kids to me, because I'm an old man. I feel old, but like you did something great. You accomplished something. You're a teacher. You have a great career. You're a podcaster. Your knowledge is beyond. It's amazing. But these people that went to college, got their bachelor's degrees and stuff, um, they're stuck there because they can't find jobs in their field. And now it's worse than ever,
And
for
and they went to
AI.
college
Or in
for
my case, you get a job with a partner and you fuel it together, you know, but then you split up and then now you're stuck in the existential vacuum
right.
because
And
that
you get
part,
and, no, and the thing is to get out of it, you realize that again, I always say like my mantra is, it's not do what I will, but it's more life is good. Like God is good.
yeah.
And I realized like again, we're all sinful. I mean, into Christianity, like, we're all sinful sinners.
Or
Like
like Jimmy Carter said it, I've sinned in my mind. Jesus, I sinned today then.
we're all sinners.
Summertime at the existential vacuum, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, that's rough. I know.
It,
Dude,
it,
dude.
that's one
Anyway,
of the pluses,
I'm
the
gonna call it the
women that come
Spanish
in.
version, lujuria. But anyway, it's funny that it is a problem today, and I think logotherapy. Now, most people don't believe in religion anymore. Well, first of
No,
all, let me go back. They don't believe in institutionalized religion,
no.
which that's a whole nother issue. There's no spirituality. The spirituality is so empty. It's within the existential vacuum. For
Yeah,
example, people are like, yeah, man, like horoscopes. Yeah, all right. Like, all right, I don't really believe in this, but I'll conform to this and
yeah,
give up my free will and believe in the zodiac or whatever. Oh, palm reading. Yeah, all right. Or another one is, I don't believe in religions, but listen, man, like I believe this tree is God, nature is God, and meanwhile a disaster, a hurricane comes, ruins your house, destroys it.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah,
your
yeah.
God now, right? Like, but
Right.
the idea is here that a lot of these young regulars and people, if they
Yeah.
don't set up their lives correctly, they lack meaning. And
Yeah.
actually, another thing that gives your life meaning is family.
Right. Right.
That allows you now. You're
Well,
not gonna be
that's that.
happy. You're not gonna
No,
be
that's
happy.
separate. Family to me is separate than your passion. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean that. I mean it
But
like
you know what's funny? Your passion, I feel like with that idea that you gotta be a little careful.
family's number one. Like
Well, well,
family's like you have God and then
well,
family and then
family
what you want to
is a
do.
motivating force. So,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna make you happy. Why? Because it is now you love your like, example, existential vacuum, and you know
Yeah.
this. Why do you still work there? To provide for your family. I am
Exactly.
going now, but you're
Yeah.
again, this is where religion comes in. I am going to make the ultimate sacrifice and
Yeah.
work here to provide for my family.
Right.
And
And of
I,
course benefits for your health insurance.
of
Yeah.
course. Now, passion is something else. Now, the passion idea is going back to this idea. If we go back now, Frankl, going back to like the logotherapy idea, is that now everybody can develop a passion or something that inspires them, gives them happiness, right? Because what is
Yeah.
passion? Define passion. What is it?
Passion is something that you can't get out of your head. You're obsessed with
That sounds like an
something.
addiction or obsession.
But when you do it, you love what you do. It makes you feel better
Now,
than any
now,
drug.
but what? How, now,
I'm
whiplash.
gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you on the Socrates
Ready, ready,
one.
ready.
This is a
Whiplash.
Larry Bird, Magic Johnson thing going on right now. Let me tell you.
Yo, we're doing a
Yeah.
jump solo right now.
Yeah.
Um, but see, I give you pushback on that because passion alone does not determine meaning, sadly. I'm gonna
No, no,
push
and
back.
I agree. Okay. I had passion for basketball when I was
Right.
8 years old. Okay. Then I realized by the time I was 12 before base that
Okay.
I was not going to be 6'7". And,
Well,
and what are the odds
no, and
of
imagine you keep pursuing your passion. People are gonna tell you, geez, listen, man, I don't know. I mean, keep going.
wait, here's an example. And my brother-in-law Rob, if he's watching this, he's gonna laugh. Have you ever seen the movie Rudy?
I was just gonna mention that.
Now
Rudy.
Rudy, Rob thinks Rudy's a fucking failure.
Oh, dude.
Because
Okay,
he
wait, wait,
said,
wait, wait. Pause here. Pause here. Okay, I saw the movie. I think it was in high school. Now, first of all, I didn't
yeah,
like it. I didn't like the movie back then. Today, I appreciate it. It is. I love the religious themes, but that's another story.
yeah, in Notre Dame, yeah.
And that idea of never giving up, even if you are a failure. But going back, when I saw the ending of that movie, I was like, "This movie sucks. What?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I wasted."
Wait, did he play on a kickoff? He got to run.
Dude, it was so lame. So he didn't play until the end, like the end,
Yeah,
and
there's like a
literally
second left.
all he did was tackle some dude,
Yeah, yeah.
and I was
But
like,
but the point is, he wasn't good enough. He wasn't built big enough, and everyone said you can't do this. Coach. All the coaches were like, give it up, give it up. But the kid, it was a real story. It's true. He believed and he believed and he believed and he got to play. I believe it was Notre Dame. He got on that field, on that stadium, and
it is
people
Notre
went
Dame,
crazy for
Notre
him.
Dame.
Yeah, they went crazy for him. So he's a good example. Is Rudy a failure, or did his dream
I,
really come
I
true?
I think he. I mean, it's inspiring. If I take a little cheeky stab at that, he is a failure because again, he goes to college for the wrong reasons. Now, our boy, the African American janitor, says when he starts to give up, dude, you're studying at college. Be grateful, you fool. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
can you not? Now, he is would be sort of like that logotherapy dude.
Right, right.
And the fact that, again, I think what's more important is that he actually went to junior college from his hometown, which were
Yeah.
workers. People are
And
like,
his
oh,
brother stole his girlfriend. The poor guy had no
and
luck.
I
He
know.
was
I
all
mean, dude,
fucked
he's
up.
a total loser, dude. But but it is
But I
fascinating.
love Sean Astin from the Goonies, so that's why I
Right,
watched it.
right. He plays Samwise in Lord of the
Oh,
Rings.
that's right,
Yeah,
that's right.
Sam.
Um, and there's something about him. He's a something about his acting I always liked. He's just
He's
like he's
humble,
just pretty.
humble
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
humble dude. He definitely
But
looks like the guy who didn't get some, or like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's like our boy in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, the guy that fumbles the girl and like
Oh,
puts on
oh,
what's his name?
oh, God, it'll come. I should be
Yeah, like
shot.
let me get this straight
Mark
for you
Mark
and write
Ratner.
you
Mar
back home.
Mark Ratner.
I gotta
Mark
go.
Ratner.
I gotta go study. I'm like, dude.
Oh, when you could have hooked up with
And
with the
he
girl,
decides
right?
to like ditch her. I didn't understand why that happened. I'm like, dude.
Oh man, Jennifer Jason Leigh's throwing herself at you, dude. She was so fucking hot, so gorgeous.
But yeah, so
Anyway,
I definitely think Rudy is a failure. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
well,
But
I see. I don't think Rudy's a
I'm
failure.
kidding. No, no, with mature
No,
mind,
me
no,
and Rob,
no,
we would
no,
argue
no, no,
about
no,
this
no.
all the
With
time.
sobriety, with a mature sobriety, I realized no, he's not a failure. It's the journey that gave his life meaning. And the African American janitor that I'm sorry calling him African American, I don't know his name, who helps him
This
out.
is total Joseph Campbell shit right here. What we're
Yes,
talking about.
yes, yes. It's not the hero's journey. Let's be honest. Rudy's not a hero per se. I mean, he's short. I mean, he's kind of chubby. He's not the best looking guy.
He did something that nobody's done.
Well, his determination, he was so determined that he could say, I did play on Notre Dame.
Yeah,
And again, the character, the custodian, said he's giving up because, seasons pass,
yeah,
they're not putting him in, he hasn't been on the team. And he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw in the towel.
yeah.
And the janitor guy says, you know what, I'm upset at you because you don't realize that it's the journey. It
Mm.
is the journey that gave your life meaning. And now look where you are at.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he actually does get admitted to Notre Dame, even though it does take time.
Yeah,
But
he
Notre
gets in
Dame,
Notre Dame just to play football. You
that
know how hard
see,
it is
see, and I,
to get
and
into
that
Notre Dame?
that is the achievement, not the fact that he plays for Notre Dame.
Rudy Rudiker. Yeah, Rudy
Rudy
Rudiker.
Rudiger, right, right. So, but yeah,
He should be an inspiration for everybody.
listen,
Rudy Rudiker, not Mark Ratner. Forget Mark Ratner.
remember, like in the movie, like Rudy.
Yeah. And his father treated him like shit.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
everybody,
and
dude,
his father.
and
Okay.
dude, he had a decent girlfriend.
Think about and she was cute too. Think about who his father is. Ned Beatty. That guy's ruined forever if you ever seen Deliverance. If you ever seen the movie Deliverance, I cannot look at Ned Beatty. I love him. He's a great actor, but why they must have I hope they paid that man a lot of money in Deliverance, which is a great fucking movie. I
Horror
think
movie,
it's
right? I haven't seen it.
never seen Deliverance?
No, but I did hear about certain scene with
You
them.
know, well, Ned Beatty is the one. It's the Appalachian Mountains where this shit exists, where people are inbred, and you don't want to get caught up in there. Let's put it that way,
Right.
like Ned Beatty. But anyway, I think Rudy is definitely a hero
No, he's a hero.
From the Joseph Campbell point of view
Yeah, yeah,
perspective.
yeah.
That's a good this is a good
Yeah.
analogy.
He has a
I
lot of
think
no, he has a lot of heart. Like he's
yeah,
so I think that's what like in going back to the idea, like he's passionate for sure.
yeah, oh yeah,
But he's passionate and has a lot of soul and heart. Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
movie is about the heart. Like, yeah, he's not using his mind. Like, let's be honest, the dude is short.
And he's
He
not using his skills because he really wasn't a great football player, but he managed, you know, to get there. And
he did, yeah.
yeah, and to do that, that's an accomplishment that
Yeah.
so I definitely
And he also, if it wasn't for his teammates, the coach didn't want to put him in. His
yeah.
teammates did a strike. They said, "We're not playing, coach. You need to put Rudy
Right.
in."
Right.
And
I can't think of the coach's name too.
I remember they had an
Yeah.
old coach who said, "Yeah, I'll put you in," but then he left.
Guy was famous, yeah, from Notre Dame at that time.
Right, right.
And also just to throw a philosopher out there, um Vince Lombardi, the coach of the Green Bay Packers. He's a coach, but his quotes I used to live by some of his quotes. And one of his quotes, Vince Lombardi, this is probably next to Do It Thy Wilt. Vince Lombardi, this stuck in my head. What you constantly do is what you become,
And
basically. I'm
he stole that from classic philosophy because Aristotle in one of his thing is the knowledge shapes you. So what you
Yeah,
learn is what you
right.
are. That's like classic wisdom.
Well, and Lombardi was the greatest coach of all time from the Green Bay Packers. What you constantly do, you become.
Did he study philosophy? Was he?
I don't know. I just know he's the greatest football coach ever. In the 60s and 70s, that made, that era,
Yeah,
and
no,
that's what
Aristotle was
Rudy,
famous for talking about that. And no, Rudy,
yeah,
it's funny, go back to Rudy. Um, that you know what, Rudy has so much heart. Like he
does.
he he wins the coach over that, that rough coach. Hey, come
Yeah.
on, you ladies, like that,
Yeah,
that
right.
coach,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that
Old
Rocky
school.
coach,
Right.
like that
Take
old
off
school.
your skirts and play football.
Yeah, right. Who's like, take off your panties, like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he's overweight, like old, it's kind of funny.
yeah,
But it's funny that Rudy, the story in Frankelian, let's analyze it. That
yeah,
now the passion, you got to admit, is a little, you know, haphazard, because let's
yeah,
be
yeah.
honest, he could have been killed by the way those
Oh,
people were tackling.
oh,
Dude,
oh,
he
oh,
could have
yeah.
injured his spine. Who knows? Oh
Even
man, who knows how many
paralyzed, like Daryl
concussions he
Stingley.
experienced?
Yeah,
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 dude. And
yeah, yeah,
it's very similar to an obsession, which the director, Damien, I think Damien Chazelle, I think his name is, in
yeah,
Whiplash, is going to show you the dangers of obsession, of following a
yeah.
passion.
And
And
very similar concepts
very similar.
to
Now, the
those
only
two movies.
difference is that
It, the kid's
Rudy.
really good on the drums.
Oh,
That's
he
a
is,
big
and
difference.
like freaking J.K. Simmons' character, Terrence Fletcher is straight up Nietzschean and like anti-Christian. Like
Oh yeah,
he pushes the
yeah,
kid
yeah,
to the extreme, but out of some sort of like sick, like it looks like some sick like masochism, and really this dude represents like a Nietzsche type. We have that episode where we talk about that, but.
yeah,
I will tell you that Rudy's passion is volatile. And actually,
yeah.
his true achievement is not that he got into Notre Dame from a working class factory town. He got
Right, right,
into
right.
Notre Dame. His story, you should copy him, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
football took him there, but that wasn't the
Right,
passion. And that
right,
passion
right,
could have killed him. Now, that's what I'm saying. Like, passion, in my opinion, doesn't define meaning. It's what you do within the passion. Like,
right,
for example,
right,
you give your life meaning based is playing in a band. I feel like that
right.
is where it's
Oh
ultimately
yeah.
situated. Playing bass is awesome. It gives you happiness, but playing by yourself, I don't think you'll be happy
Well,
long
I
term.
give you credit, even if you play by yourself, and if you come home from the existential vacuum, and you just say, "I'm going to take." I've given lessons to people that were well into their 30s and 40s who just wanted
At
to learn the bass.
but at that point, it's a healthy uh hobby, which is good. You should
It's a
have one.
hobby, but Frankl talks about hobbies. They're very
Yes, yes,
important.
I agree with you. And just a little
You know.
story. I discovered one time that I went to Guatemala with my padre, right, my father.
Yeah,
I saw these little houses made out of wood. And I
yeah.
asked him, what's up with that? My dad and I, when I was 12 years old, young, we used to make houses together, actually built mini houses.
Wow.
And you talk about like this idea of arts and crafts and like having hobbies, like you
Yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it makes use of your time you are creating, right? And I'm
Right.
looking at these houses, they're beautiful. Like I don't know if I have any pictures of it. And
That's
sadly, it's so
amazing.
sad that my grandpa was an alcoholic and died of liver cirrhosis. I think it's liver when your liver gives out
Oh, I'm
because
sorry.
of drink. So he was definitely living
Yeah,
in some
sorry
sort
to
of
hear that.
existential vacuum. I'm not sure exactly what was, but one thing that was helping him was these little hobbies he did with my dad,
Yeah,
and stuff like
that's
that.
cool.
But yeah, you
And
don't.
like, I mean, for me, is interesting. Like, I'm kind of picking out a hobby now. Like, from watching these reels of old school basketball, I'm reliving that third grade Cheech. So when I go with my daughter to these gaming stores, I'm buying basketball cards, from my era. And I'm
Right.
starting to collect. My goal is to collect all my favorite players. And I'm also collecting, basketball digest that I used to own when I was a kid. So it's a retro, but it's a hobby for me. It's a new thing that I'm really getting into. back into is old school basketball, which so hobbies are so important, you know. And people might be like, "Oh, well, yeah, it's cool. You play the bass. It's a hobby." Or because you're not on stage like like Steve Harris or Geddy Lee. Oh, you have a hobby. You're a podcaster, but you're not Joe Rogan. And I want to smack the shit out of those people because it's about passion. It's about passion. Whenever we do a podcast, we're out there working just as hard as Joe Rogan. Whenever I'm on stage playing, I'm working just as hard as Steve Harris, and I'll fight anybody on that. You know what I mean? I might not sound as good, but I'm definitely giving it as much as he is in my mind.
Are you like the
You know,
Rudy?
so
You sound like
passion, we both have that fire.
are you the Rudy of bass
I'm
playing?
fucking, I'm the Rudy. I'm the Rudy of bass playing and podcasting.
Rudy, Rudy.
Rudy! But great movie, for
It's a great movie.
inspirational.
I do love it. I love the religious and
Yeah,
themes and the journey and his conversations with the
yeah,
priest character.
yeah.
So great movie.
I'm trying to think of a movie where somebody goes from nothing. All right, like I don't know, the
Rocky.
Motley Crue movie, Rocky.
That's a
Rocky's
dude.
the
Talk
greatest
about it,
movie ever.
dude. Rocky. Talk about a loser. Well, I mean, he's kind of a loser at the beginning. He is kind of a loser.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
where he just breaks people's hands for a living. He works
yeah,
for the
yeah.
mob, and the guy is like, "Yeah, you're nothing. You're a
You're
loser.
nothing. You're
Get out of
nothing,
my
Rocky.
gym, you loser." And
The
Rocky's like,
Penguin.
He's like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, yeah. I'm not a loser."
Adrian, and she's like a
Adrian, wait a
nerd.
minute. What
Fucking
is up with the Rudy, Adrian?
oh
Jeez.
man, but that is a better um uh
And dude, you
passion.
know what's shocking? He loses in the end. That's
Yeah,
something that
Apollo Creed beats him.
people don't
Yeah,
talk about, but
yeah.
he
But
gives
he
it his
but he,
all.
but he was pulled at Rudy. He got to fight Apollo
He got
Creed,
yeah, and it's not that the
who's like Mike
bad's in
Tyson.
there. And notice that at the end, he's not even concerned about the fight. He's concerned, where is Adrian? Like Adrian. He realizes like what
Adrian!
the
He's all bloody and the
Adrian.
music comes
And you
up.
hear the music. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. Classic, man. Stallone was just brilliant.
Uh,
Rocky, and then it gets really sad when Apollo dies. They become friends, and
right, right.
Mr. T. Oh, we could go on. But Rocky is a better example than Rudy, but they're similar because he doesn't win, he loses.
Yep.
Forgot about that. And I remember as a kid saying to we know in the 70s, that's prime time 70s, we would go and see. I think we saw in the drive-in theater, we saw Rocky and Caddyshack.
Nice.
They did double features. And I said to my mom, he lost. And my mom or my dad was trying to explain, no, but he didn't really lose. He got to
He
fight the best.
won the world in the end. He won the girl. He
Yeah,
won his family's respect. He won the
right, right,
coach's respect.
right,
He won Apollo's respect.
right. But to a
He,
kid
no, no,
who's
no,
an
no.
athlete,
It takes maturity. Like you
yeah, I
realize
was
that
like, no, he lost.
I bet you if a kid saw this, what a loser. He lost.
Yeah, I know, I know.
It's like Rudy. I remember in high school I saw that movie. I was so disappointed in the ending, and I was waiting to see if there was more. And then
Yeah,
I see the roll credits, and I'm like, wait, that's
that's
it?
it. It's
This
over.
movie
Yeah,
sucks.
I
But then I
know.
realized the movie is very
Yeah,
Victor Franklian.
yeah. Those Viktor Frankl, Rudy, and Rocky are two great examples. And the other one, uh, the music one,
No, oh,
not my tempo. What is
dude,
it called?
I got another one. Ready?
Yeah.
Passion of the Christ.
Oh yeah,
Jesus, man, look what they did to him. Anybody
yeah.
look at like, yo, this
That's
guy,
the epitome of a
this guy's a
winner.
loser. He's nailed on the cross. Like, but
Yeah,
what happens at the end? Like, his resurrection, which people,
yeah.
kind of that's another also like and Jesus prepared people for the journey, like gave people
Oh,
meaning.
exactly. That's the epitome of
Yeah, that's the
of
epitome.
meaning. Yeah, yeah. That's next level. But okay, so
Dude, this might turn into like 5 hour episode, dude.
I know it's going good.
Let me know if you want to do
And
part
then
one, part two to continue like the Dow.
well, I wanted to get through me Will because I have ego.
Good,
on
good.
part three, you know. So meaning of life. Meaning is objective and can be found in every situation. Um, Even the most miserable situations, life ceases to have a purpose.
Wait, say that again, the last part?
Right. Meaning is objective and can be found in every situation, even in the most miserable situations. Life never ceases to have purpose.
Yes. And that's a mindset. Like
Yeah, that's
suffering. Like
straight
I
up
know people,
concentration camp.
well, not even, but he discovered that
Yeah,
in his suffering in the camp.
right.
But to extend it to life, uh a lot of people say, why woe is me? Like, why am I suffering? My life sucks. But
Yeah,
Frankl realizes, but what if the suffering gives your life meaning? What if it's meant to tell you something, right?
right.
And you see this happen where when tragedy strikes, what do people do? They turn it around, the smart ones. They,
Yeah,
they realize, an example, I mean, it's sad. For example, one can become paraplegic, lose their ability to walk, right? But
yeah.
instead, now they're gonna be advocates. Now, another example of this.
Stephen Hawking.
Well,
Stephen Hawking.
well, before we go there, I mean, he was in Epstein's Island, so clearly he was enjoying. But before we go there,
What the fuck? What can he do?
dude, wait, pause. Can we
Compare.
talk about that? What was he
Like,
doing there?
what could he can only move his
Yes,
eyes.
yes,
You
yes.
know, like,
Oh,
and,
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Epstein's like,
could he even? I mean, I'm not. Could he even get an erection?
dude, what
I
was
mean,
he, dude?
I
I feel
doubt
like,
it.
dude, I'm like, dude, what was he doing there?
Sit
Like,
on my lap.
man, shut up my
I
lap.
don't think. He gets.
Have you ever heard that ChatGPT voice? Shut up my lap. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like I think he gets a pass because he's like he can't do anything.
Have you
You
seen the
know, he could
Family Guys?
watch and
Have
that's
you seen the
it.
Family Guy skit with him? Where
Oh, it was
he's
brutal.
making
Oh, it's,
Family Guy is so brutal. They're having, relations in bed. It's like, baby, I
yeah,
like how you do that to me. And like their friends are like,
I
it's
know.
such a brutal
Uh,
joke. But
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 but like
I had a better
talk
example with
about
the guy
yeah,
from the Born on the 4th of July, where he loses,
exactly.
he becomes a advocate for his fellow veterans and realizes, wait a minute, it gave his life meaning and purpose. That's
Yeah,
Victor Frankalian. And
yeah.
Franco, as far as I know, and I know what happened to him is, I mean, imagine trying to forgive the people that did that to him.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
realize though he doesn't write negatively. He never writes negatively about the situation.
No. Well, he did give a fuck you to Germany because
You know,
the first printing of the book, it had a different name. He released it in Germany.
what was his name?
I forget the name. You could Google the first edition of Man's First
No,
Search
but
for
it makes
Meaning.
sense because Austria, Germany.
But well, Austria and Germany is two separate countries, though.
Doesn't matter. They're both similar. Like they're in the same
But
area.
I look at it like, it didn't go global. Like he didn't release it globally
No, it was
yet.
translated. Yeah, after. Then it
Yeah, it
became
was
famous.
translated 20 years later. Yeah, I guess you're right, Austria and Germany, but I think it's a nice fuck you to Germany. Like, ha, motherfuckers. Look. I wrote a book. You didn't beat me, you pieces of shit.
I think
That's how
it's
I
more.
look at
I
it.
think it's more to the Nazis, not Germany. The Nazis.
Right, right,
But
right.
at
Yeah.
that point, I don't think I kind of give you pushback
Yeah,
on that.
because the Germans were so scared of Hitler. You can't blame Germany. You know what I mean?
Actually,
Like,
I got to give you pushback on that because I'm a World II historian. But that's another
yeah, yeah,
topic.
yeah, yeah. It's like,
But I will say, like with Frankel, as far as I know, when I was reading Brand Search, I was waiting for him to criticize, like, you know,
no, he doesn't.
no, it doesn't come. And he
Yeah,
says, Matt, and he got a lot of criticism for that from the Jewish community, saying you should have criticized not the people more.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
didn't, a lot of people said like you didn't do enough.
But
That's
he's
why.
not a vengeful guy.
No, he realizes, yeah, you listen, I lost everything. But I let's turn this. I'm gonna turn this around.
Man.
And I realized, let me help individuals out and realize, and this is where the religious element comes in.
Yeah,
Without going too far, in that field, but it is fascinating how, like you said, that he thought the meaning was objective, right? So it is something that is. It is something that is.
It is objective, the meaning.
Yeah. That
Explain that again so I could kind of just explain that. I'm not following you on that.
Oh, okay. Repeat your last point, and I'll start from there for our
Okay.
viewers, because our viewers are probably lost.
Meaning of life. Meaning is objective and can
Okay,
be found. Okay.
explain that. What does that mean? Meaning can
Meaning
be
is
objective.
objective.
What's objectivity?
Um, you got your brain fucking me right now. I can't. I have a blank. I'm like, I see white in my head right now.
Oh, dude, man, I know it's like, okay,
Frankl is like,
Frankl is genius, but
every episode we mind fuck ourselves with more
oh
and more.
yeah, oh yeah, but dude, meaning exists independent of your mind. It is in reality, like
Yeah.
whether or not you want to accept it or not. Like the meaning is objective. So,
Right.
for example, and this is what he was trying to get at something here, that the idea of like your meaning is not inside your mind.
Yeah.
It's not. You
Mm.
construct it in the world and it's objective. It exists, the meaning.
Right. But you create that.
Well, what you can do, you can create it, you can discover it, you can cultivate it.
Yeah.
That idea of the meaning, what, and ultimately, again, without getting too religious here, but just quick, Saint Augustine of Hippo, the great Christian theologian, said that the human heart is restless until it rests in God. So he argues that we were made restless because we lack God. Now, Frankl is saying that there is an objective reality to meaning, the will to meaning. You
Yeah.
don't need to have any emotion on it. You don't,
Right,
and
right.
this is going back to your passion idea. He would kind of like disagree with you, give you pushback on that.
Right,
You don't need
right.
to be passionate to discover meaning. It exists objectively.
So you can have meaning in your life, but you don't have to have passion.
No.
See, I disagree with that. I I
Fine,
now now
explain.
now Frankel is saying that Frankel's saying you can have meaning, but you don't need passion. So,
No, no. I'm not saying he would say that, but
okay.
meaning exists independently from passion. Because what's passion? Explain passion.
Passion is
Where now,
me.
now you tell me, where is passion found? Like what is it
It
associated with? With the
it's
mind,
it
with the mind.
it's in you. It's like OCD. Okay, it's just telling you pick up the fucking bass, practice that shit.
But OCD isn't good.
It is good to become great. OCD is good in a sense if you want to become great at something. Like Jocko had massive OCD because all he did was play the bass.
But
So you know what I mean? And maybe
but
OCD is not a good
problem, it led him
example.
to ruin.
Yeah, but it made him a genius, and he had so much passion for playing music. And what was his meaning to be the best? I think I got you.
So,
I
well,
think
okay,
I
now
got you.
let me bring the ancient philosophers. They would say that you have to master your passions. What do you think about that?
Master your I don't. How do you master
You
your
got to have
passion?
self-control. Because
So instead,
because when you're passionate, now what I was trying to get at to you that you do need to, now look, this is different. You need to have emotions to have passions. You
right? Because the emotion sparks the passion.
Right now, you are dependent on emotion. Now, if your emotions are depressed, it's going to affect your passion. No matter what you're passionate about, if you are sad about your life, your passion will not do anything.
Right.
Eventually, like Jocko, it's going to lead you to ruin. Like a lot of the great geniuses
Yeah.
in music, for example, a lot of them did end up.
Or Nietzsche. Well,
Oh, Nietzsche, well, no, he's another story. He lost his mind. Like he literally like a straight.
wasn't it from too much like passion
One
of free
theory is that he contracted syphilis. Another one is that he literally just drove himself mad.
but would it be like
His
you
passion, yes, his passion drove him
yeah
mad.
Right,
Yes.
which is a bad thing. So I see
Yes.
now. I know now. I see like okay, Nietzsche's the ultimate. I think on driving yourself mad with
And,
passion.
and going back to hemispheres and Rush with reason and passion and that idea of Dionysus and the dancing, right? Because the guy is nude and dancing. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
like represented by the arts, while you have rational man.
yeah.
And there's always that debate. Now, Nietzsche tried to reconcile that, not using religion. In religion is interesting. The passions have to, now, for example, if you're right, you mentioned that a passion can be associated with obsession and
Right.
compulsivity. You're
Yeah,
true, it's 100%.
yeah.
The best passionate at, like, let's say the base are OCD. They need to have everything perfect.
Anybody
Let me
who
give you another
mastered.
example. Peter Townsend was famously or infamously so hard to work with because he was so perfectionist. No, no, that's not what I want.
Or
No. And he had
Roger
his
Waters.
Nietzsche moment where he snapped. Like
Yeah,
another one, Brian Wilson, another one that
yeah,
he was so obsessive and passionate about his sound in his head and
yeah,
music,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
napped him, like literally, like caused his
yeah.
schizophrenia to go off wired. So
Right,
that's why I give you pushback on that.
right, right,
I'm
right.
using some Socratic dialogue on your.
No, no, but it works. I see what you mean because if you're too passionate, you can lose your mind,
Right,
or you can lose interest.
right. Now,
You
what
know.
you're referring to is more like, let's say, bass playing, Jocko, and you, right? Because
Yeah.
what the bass playing does is it's not that, it's more that you escape on the bass.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and another psychologist, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, from I think he was from, I forgot which university. He discovered this concept in psychology called optimal experience. Now, the problem is that I feel like that's like an escape, in my opinion.
Right. Right.
I could
Right.
be wrong. Then again, but this can turn into a meaningful thing where you realize, like, if you think, now most people don't think like this though.
Right.
If you think that music is meaning, music, beautiful music, and especially like this is why fandoms are shaped around a passion for
Right.
a genre of music. I'm talking about fandom of
Right.
music, and it forms a community. There is the good meaning. You have
Right.
friends who are fellow metalheads. You
Right.
visit
Well, I'll give you an example. The Grateful Dead.
That's a good example. The dead, right? What are the followers called? Deadhead,
Deadheads.
deadhead,
Deadhead.
deadhead.
Yeah.
Even
Like
even
that's
even though like like too weird, but yes, it formed a familial family community. It's not that,
right.
and again, we could say that the Grateful Dead music sucks, but
Right.
that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't think that, but you may not be a fan, but look at how people have constructed their meaning through
Oh yeah.
the
There's
dead.
no band in the world next, maybe Kiss would be the second, like the Kiss Army in the
Right,
70s,
right. And a lot of
where,
people question it. It's like,
but the Dead was like, I mean, they had a community of people that
and that's
followed them.
and that's what gives life meaning to many. It's like this,
Yeah.
and again, going back to the sports thing, you could kind of see that. I just think with sports, it's turned into like a commercialization
Yeah,
where,
when you get
and
into gambling and you start
right.
to getting, it's
I
not.
I realize like at Super Bowl games, they do that gambling game, that chart.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never participate because I'm just,
I mean, I think going to a casino I mean, it could be a passion, like people that are good at cards. If you're,
oh, but it turns toxic and obsessive.
I know it does, but it's a skill. And you
It
could,
is. It is.
you could have a passion for being a black, like we talk about blackjack, and and you rock blackjack and you rock poker and that's what you're good at because you think like Rain Man and you have that gift. And then there's gifts that God gives you too. Can't forget that.
100%. Yeah, God gives everybody a gift. Now you're talking about discuss. Now again, change the language. Now, do with thy will shall be the whole law. Not sure about that, and the condition will, and then I don't know about that. But what I will say, it's not to discover your passion; it's to discover your gift,
Exactly.
your purpose. And going back to Frankl, your purpose you discover is the bass. You're like Getty. Getty was so loving on the bass that he wrote a book on it. The bass gave me
Oh
my
yeah,
life.
yeah,
And
yeah,
this is
yeah.
my gratitude for this instrument.
Right,
I'm
right, yeah,
going to
yeah,
make a bass history book. A lot of people be like, why? That's dumb.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just why?
Yeah, you're Getty
Because
Lee. He's
You get
still
elite,
growing.
and
He's
it's
still, yeah.
gratitude. You use base playing to play with Pottersfield. It doesn't matter if you make money or whatever. I don't
Right.
think making money motivates you. Sure, you would love to
No.
make money,
Yeah.
but it's more having playing in a band.
Well, that's the problem with society.
Well, and
They,
going back to the sports, it's turned into commercialization.
yeah. And
And
even like,
quoting Pink Floyd, money is the root of all evil.
yeah. And like, oh, you're not going to make money playing bass or you're
Right,
not going to make money doing a
right,
podcast,
right.
but they're missing the point. No, it's about your passion. It's about what you love to do. And if you don't do it because you're not making money, then you really are a
That's a
failure.
mistake.
You're a
Exactly.
failure.
It's your
Then
gift.
you fail. Yeah.
Right. Like if you discover a gift you have for something, and then you say, but it's not gonna make me money, or you are in the existential vacuum because money is empty. It
Yeah.
is a value of economy and value that we assign.
Right.
Like
Right.
for example, like money. I mean, we could also do a diver. I love economics, student of economics,
Right.
classic economics in terms of like capitalism and
Hmm.
economic theory. But what's interesting is that most people don't realize, you're not worth $24 an hour.
Right.
Society tells you that because society puts a value on you.
Yeah.
That's not your gift. That's
And
not
that's bullshit. When you hear that shit, like then you just made a very good point. Somebody's telling you you're only worth this much an hour,
right.
and you want to say fuck you, I'm worth much more, but you got to take
Well,
the
you could
money.
argue, I mean, there's some exceptions, but every human is worth more.
Always,
And
yeah,
this is also going back to make a connection to um, Magnifica Humanitas by Leo the 14th, where he says AI is in danger of dehumanizing humanity
right,
and putting humans second rate to machines. And
yeah,
he's afraid of this new Tower of Babel that we're constructing,
right,
where, you're not worth $20,000. Get out of here. You're fired. You're going to get replaced with a machine.
right.
And
That's
you're like,
sad. That's the
and that's
saddest
sad.
thing.
Now imagine you didn't discover your gift or passion.
Yeah.
What are you going to do now? You
Yeah,
made the
well,
mistake of,
uh, uh, according to Elon Musk, we're all going to do nothing, and we're gonna not need to
well,
work.
the positive there though is that you're going to discover, perhaps they'll give you time to discover your gifts and passions.
Yeah, if you look at the
No,
positive
now
side.
we would have to change the economy. Now, this is a future that I don't want to experience because
I don't. Yeah, I
it's
don't
going to
want
be
to be part of it.
revolutionary, too revolutionary. It's sort of similar when the Industrial Revolution happened.
I don't think
Do
it's
you
gonna
remember the
happen.
change it caused in
Oh
society?
yeah,
And businesses and factories started to put a value on humans and abuse them.
yeah,
And people were realizing, wait a minute, children can't work in coal mines. What are we doing here? Right?
yeah. That's why I think Elon Musk. That's not gonna happen.
Right. He's blinded a little by
Yeah,
innovation.
you know. And I also feel like you when you said that 25 hour per hour thing, the only way to make more than that, let's just say at the existential vacuum, is to sell your soul to the Adlers and to be a kiss ass and get head Adler to make you move up, and you got to be on his good side
Yep.
to move up. And if he doesn't think you're qualified, well, you can't. You know what I mean? So that that kind of stuff is like that always I hear it every day.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
so head
I'm not
Adler said I gave me a great recommendation, so I'm gonna go here because Adler said this, but like who's Adler?
right. And the human element is missing that idea of personhood and relationship. What
Yeah.
matters there is that,
Shout out to Joe Silkman. He's talking about Stranger Things. I can't really.
oh,
I don't
but you
know.
probably finished the series. Um, but yeah, and again, I'm not saying dismantle the system. Communists are wrong.
Oh yeah,
Anybody that foolishly says let's just burn it whole down, no, 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 no. You're missing the point because now you're burning an institution that does provide
mm,
well-being for many people. It gives you
yeah,
a job now, but the
yeah,
important thing for somebody to realize I'm not worth $25 an hour, right? And this is where you wake up and you realize, okay, I'm gonna work here. I'm gonna make this work because I gotta live in society.
right,
I'm going to discover my will to meaning, my what am I passionate about?
Right.
And I don't care about money. I'm
Yeah.
doing it because, and again, I get it. Money, rich, sure. But if you make
Yeah.
the mistake of monetizing everything and
Yeah.
we're looking at the advent of influencers, where
Yeah.
now young regulars are trying to be next influencers, not because they like the art of influencing, but
Yeah.
because they want, money.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
mistake because
I
money,
think influencer's a joke.
oh, it's a joke.
It's
It's
a fucking
total.
joke.
They're living,
I'm
they're
not gonna
vacuum,
listen to
they're
some,
vacuums,
yeah,
dude.
some idiot telling me to buy this or buy that, and I love when they used to come into the existential vacuum. Oh, an influencer's coming in. She has a million followers on her YouTube channel and her Facebook, and it's like, the fuck out of here,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, no, and it's motivated due by passions, by not having control on the passions, like
And also, I think conformity, going back to my girl, Anne Rand, don't conform. Be true to who you want to be. You know what I mean?
authenticity.
When it comes down to the Adlers and it comes down to the existential vacuum, this is our code words here, that don't conform. And I'll never, like for me with the Adlers, because I will never conform to them. And they know that. They know I'm like the Socrates. You know what I mean? Like I've been accused of corruption.
Right, right, right,
I've been totally
right.
people would say to me, do me a favor, there's a new kid coming. Um,
See,
like
and it's funny, and it's funny because with me personally, I have to give you pushback on that. I don't know if you want a Socratic dialogue this, but
well,
only
like for instance, we had a conversation about a new worker today,
a new
right?
regular, right?
Yeah,
Like a
new
regular show.
regular. And
Oh no,
uh,
we'll call
uh,
them Mordecai's and Rigby's.
Mordecai's and Rigby's, and a certain person in your department said, don't talk to him, because you're gonna totally give him the wrong impression of the existential vacuum, because I read his resume, you know, and I would never do that to anybody, but if I got to know him, I would, and I've done it to people.
You're the Socrates, so you are trying to wake people up. Now,
Yeah.
what
Like,
I
don't spend the rest of your
what
life in this existential vacuum when you have a degree in
no, and that
psychology
no, no,
and
no,
from
that's good.
Harvard. Yeah,
That's
I
good.
just graduated from Harvard. I'm a
No, but
psychiatrist.
there's nobody like that there, as far
No,
as I know.
I'm just saying that.
I will say, like,
I'm
perhaps,
joking. I'm
perhaps, like
joking.
perhaps we're all, maybe with the exception of us, like at the existential vacuum, they're Mordecai and Rigby's. They're kind of like losers, like everybody,
But I see so many people with these degrees,
but
and
they go
either
nowhere.
AI fucked them, or they just,
Yeah,
or,
dude, and to talk about, do you give him a code name? Jose.
yeah,
Dude, I was like learning more about him. I don't think he would watch this, but he's an example where this
yeah,
dude is talented and
yeah,
sadly lacks meaning,
yeah.
jumps is
Well,
meaningless.
and it's almost
As far as
like
I
they,
know, as far as I know, and apparently he lost his. Did you
yeah,
hear about this?
what? No. Maybe we got to talk off camera
Okay,
about
okay.
this.
Anyway, but a lot of people imagine the devastation of losing your job. And a lot of people immediately sometimes give up. And
Yeah.
that's a mistake because you made the mistake of allowing, or like you said, the non-conformity part. Not
Yeah.
conform, of course, like
You got to conform to a point. And this is why I love the Ayn Rand interview. I'm obsessed with her. And it's the evil Adlers are going to come out and they're going to say like, well, why don't you what are your future plans when you come, don't you want to move up? For instance, I don't want to get too personal, but like, my kid got a job, I'm not going to say where, and she's going to college and she's going to get a great job like you as a teacher one day. And I said, watch out. They're going to ask you if you're going to want to move up. And what did they do? Because they see the potential of the kid being a great worker. And they asked her, are you interested in moving up? And it's almost like what they're saying, come on, welcome to the existential vacuum. Because guess what? Most likely AI is gonna fuck you, and you're not gonna have a job, or we're gonna suck you in. We're gonna pay you $1.50 more, and then you're gonna be in power.
Right,
And if some
right.
people are like, I like this power, I'm a supervisor. I
Well,
get to tell you what to
dude,
do.
the will to power. Where
Exactly.
you realize, like, you start taking, and I guess Adlerian, right? Like what we were saying.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Even though that's the wrong way to say it, Adler was actually a pretty good psych in terms of his theory.
Well, I always think of him as power
Right.
when I think of
And
the
again, we were
middle.
saying like will to power, but I feel like there's so much subtlety and nuance. But I will agree, like the power corrupts, and you realize, but the problem is that now you are conforming to the vacuum.
Yeah, and and guess what? You're fucking miserable. You hate your life.
Dude, I have yet. I'm curious who loves their job in the Alerian group.
Nobody. If you
I
do,
I think only
I know
Shrek,
one person,
maybe
maybe
Shrek.
Shrek, but I don't think he does because he puts on
And
a Carl Jung
who
mask.
knows what he's so weird because who knows what mask he's wearing? I don't even know who this dude is.
Yeah, he puts on a. I think he puts on that mask that he loves his job, but probably maybe he could have been a professional wrestler for God's sakes.
Maybe.
You know, I mean, he missed his passion. He could have been a state trooper. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not gonna knock it. Maybe that's what makes him happy. So but whatever.
I don't
That's
know. I really don't know.
but yeah, this is getting
Dude,
heavy.
it's like a deep Cheech and Manny show. Like we're getting really
Holy
deep. I
shit.
feel like this should be our show going forward, dude. Like just these great long talks. Like
Oh yeah, and there's
I
so
feel
much
like I
meaning.
told you, like people are gonna tune in, and then our next goal, like I want to get on. I gotta get more episodes on Spotify so people can listen to us in the car,
Oh yeah,
like a
yeah.
radio show, you
Oh,
know?
oh, definitely.
Dude, no, and trust me, I gotta make reels, but at the same time, I'm just like F reels, dude. Like
Yeah,
I get it for like exposure, uh,
yeah,
but I'm not trying to cater to like these trying to be like influencers. You gotta listen to our show. You gotta listen to it's
yeah.
like you're not gonna read the first page of a book and just drop it.
Right.
Like
I
that
know.
is dumb, dude. Like
Yeah. I know what you mean.
you're not gonna plug one bass string, boing, and call it a day. Like
I played the bass. You know,
what?
it's silly. I'm trying to think where I left off here. Wait, so we went crazy. Um, so we did. Oh, part two. I'm sorry. Okay. So let me just move along. Uh, okay. Did we talk? We didn't talk. Oh, I got a lot of shit here. Okay. The three avenues of discovering meaning. Frankl taught that you can discover meaning in life through three distinct pathways.
We'll talk about it. We'll have a good conversation on each one. Go
Okay.
slow. First one.
Creative values.
Okay,
By
what is it?
by creation, a work, doing a deed, fulfilling a specific task or hobby. That's one.
We just talked about that.
Right, right.
We literally had we don't we just talked. We
Yeah,
literally just talked about that.
yeah. We'll skip that
That was
one.
good. Yeah, like finding some sort of hobby. And I disagree with you. I don't think it's passion. It's more like try something. Like a lot of
Yeah,
guys now get this. Actually, look, pause here. Negativity here. What I'm seeing. Kids now putting 8 hours at the existential vacuum. And mind you, sucking your existence.
yeah, yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
that's what it does. Go home, sits and plays video games for the rest
Right.
of the day.
Yeah, that's
That
99,
that's
95%
not
of the
that's
kids.
not listen, it could be a hobby, maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Self-control. And I told you, talk about like Stoics taught about mastering your passions.
yeah.
But that's not a passion.
No.
A lot of people are forgetting to use their hands to actually make something,
Yeah.
act, to actually also use your minds to actually read, to
Sketch,
actually
art, paint.
read. It doesn't even have
Right.
to be like I'm not at hands. What I do, I get home, I turn on a nice YouTube video to teach me something. And I have a
Every day.
notebook. I make an art of writing notes, like, you know, that's what we're talking about. And I think that
Yeah.
that's missing today. Or most people, what's worse, 8 hour, okay, 8 hour existential shift. Get home, smoke, eat junk food, video games,
Yeah.
watch something dumb, some dumb Netflix show.
Yeah. Or anime.
Oof, oof, don't get me
The
started.
boy. Have you ever heard
Binge,
the boy? Have you ever
binge,
heard the show The Boys?
no.
The
Oh,
anime show,
no, no, I think it's called The Boys is a live action.
or a boy.
Invincible,
I don't know. It's a
One Piece, One
superheroes.
One Punch Man.
No, One Punch Man I like. Because I watched that when my kid was little. It's about superheroes that are a part of your anatomy. Like one superhero is a penis. Another, I don't know. I think it's called Boys or Men.
Well,
I don't
there's The
fucking know.
Boys on Amazon, but it's live action. It's not anime.
Oh, okay, maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yeah. But anyway,
Um,
that's the sad reality of it. So going out to like write something, read something, make
yeah,
something, plan something.
yeah,
Um, even like something simple as like, a lot of people make the mistake of saying, "Oh man, this hobby has to go all out or nothing." No, take a walk for like 1 hour with like
yeah,
listen to a whole album that's meaningful.
right.
So, like stuff like that. Like that's what Frankel's getting at.
Yeah. You nailed it, man. Number two, experimental values. By experiencing something or encountering someone, this includes experiencing nature, art, culture, and experiencing love for another person. Kind of like what you just
We
said.
literally were just talking about that. That was
Holy
great.
shit.
I'm glad you had this. See, we beat the theory.
Yeah, it's right there. Okay, number three.
And also our survival at the extent is our friendship
Oh yeah, yeah,
since
yeah.
day one.
Oh, that's what I told my kid. When you get a job, you might meet friends for life.
Yeah, it is amazing,
You
and
know?
it's so funny. And what we're trying to interrupt it, the existential Adlerist.
Yeah, yeah.
The Adlers were so unhappy themselves, and
Oh,
they're like Benson and regular show, except like they thought that you and I were Mordecai and Rigby's.
yeah,
In
yeah,
actuality, we're pulling customers. We are happy that we're there. I know it's
yeah,
odd. We,
yeah.
we don't complain. I
Oh,
mean, sure, there are days that are not that great.
Vo would be like, Vo's like, you're gonna be happy today, 8 o'clock. I'll be texting you, man. Where are you? Where are you? It's 8 o'clock. You're like, oh shit, I thought it was nine. So it's like,
Dude, we actually work. We're not like, your boy who's trying to be a cop, like, uh,
oh god, no, no, no,
or we're not
please.
like certain, people. But no, we actually like work. And I like
And we're working and we're entertaining ourselves and the customers. And the
in the
customers are
customer.
getting involved. They're like, what are you guys talking about? Wow. I'm hearing you talk about
Yeah.
Rush or Nietzsche or,
And think
and
about it. It's the idea of like Snow White, Disney Snow White and the Seven Doors, whistle while you work. I mean, that's how
exactly.
you get that work done. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's meaningless for sure.
Yeah.
Because we're just making Bezos rich and not adding like additional cents into our pockets and adding billions to his. But that being said, when you have what you just said with the experiential component, friendship,
Yeah.
Jobs, I know, I get it. You got to grind. I believe in the grind. Rudy
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
grind. Rocky had to grind. You got to suffer.
Right.
You
Right.
don't just get stuff handed to you on a silver platter. And if you
Right.
do, that is not going to give your life meaning. Think
Right.
about the rich kids that get everything. They
Hmm.
lack meaning.
Yeah.
Us, we went through the grind and we're happy. And then really, okay, the podcast is like a passion project.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do it because we actually enjoy doing it. We're not doing it to get rich. We're not
No.
we're
No.
not doing it because let's be influencers,
We're gonna be famous.
Yo,
We're gonna
let's
be.
let's be Mr. Beast. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Mr. B, look at the people. Look what he's doing. I mean, yeah, he's making a
dude,
ton of money.
he should be called Mr. Least.
I know,
He's
but like
lame.
in kids, that's the mentality. What we're doing is
Can you
something.
believe
Oh,
Mr. Beast has no clothesline and
that guy does
kids
everything.
are paying like thousands of dollars for a
Oh yeah,
sweater or hundreds of dollars for some lame sweater with a lame goat on it?
we're doing something authentic that very few podcasters are doing. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. We're trying to do something different. We're jumping from Rush to the occult, to
This is a
fucking
show, dude. This is a show of passion.
show a passion in all of our interests.
And you just
And
mentioned what did Frankl said? Arts.
yeah,
We are communicators and enthusiasts of the greatest arts, not just
yeah,
music. Music is our priority. The
right.
greatest, and I think rock is the greatest,
It's the
in
greatest music of all
popular
time.
music, it is one of
Yeah.
the greatest genres.
Oh,
Uh,
we gotta
in
agree.
terms of like the the simplicity of it, right? I love how simple rock tunes are and
Yeah.
how I love that idea of the punk, even though I disagree with the punk nihilism, I do like three chords and the truth. And once you start getting really
Yeah.
good, let's get progressive. Like let's
Oh
really start
yeah,
getting
yeah.
grip on you and start playing with like different soundscapes and building geometrical rhythms into existence.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. Fripp genius,
think
yeah.
about like
Yeah.
what you do. You are bringing harmony and melody. And this is what Frankel's saying. It's not that you're passionate about the bass, it's that you are using the bass to bring harmony and balance and melody into life. Life,
Exactly.
music colors life. It's like a brushstroke.
And even if you get one person that comes up to you and says, sometime I'll play a show and I'll just be like, man, nobody's giving a fuck.
Only
But
imagine.
then somebody comes up to me and it's like, dude, you're fucking good, man. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Yeah,
Or the
same thing with me with the educative experience.
yeah.
Most people zone out without little Rigby's and Mordecai's I'm dealing with. They don't care. But then I have one little Rigby Mordecai says, "Teach, I really like that." I'm like, dude,
Because
I tell him in his face, I do it for or her or him, I do it for you.
yeah, because that kid's gonna become something.
It's the next scholar.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next Cheech and Manny,
We had
you
that
know?
experience in the temple with Jay Jacob. I'm not gonna say his name.
Oh,
Remember?
Kobo,
The young
he was
scholar. He
special.
and I had
Young
great
scholar.
discussions and philosophical, not debates, but like down thanks to you. And he always had a question for me.
But the
Because
thing about him, and this is not a diss to America, but he's from Colombia, so the culture is different. And
and think about Frank
outside of
Alien.
outside of America, the culture's intelligence is a thing.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When now I wonder if we give Frankel's book uh um Man's Search for Meaning to like a fellow American.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. And you know what's
they,
astounding? I try teaching St. Augustine in Confessions. Dude, no one gave an, a
yeah,
rat's,
yeah, yeah,
tail. And I'm like, man, this is sad. And then what do they give a darn about? Taylor Swift
yeah.
whatever's trending or what or 6'7". Have you ever heard that dumb trend? Like,
What's
I'm
that? I don't even know.
ask your child 6'7". It is so dumb. I'm like, dude, this is
It's
where
like,
our
it
culture.
is dumb as throwing a
Dude,
bottle up in
we
the
are
air.
truly living in a teenage wasteland to echo the Who's
Oh, yeah,
next
yeah,
album.
yeah.
Uh, out here in the fields,
Oh, yeah,
I'm hungry for knowledge and I can't find it,
yeah,
teenage
yeah.
wasteland. And finally at the end, the crescendo builds with the violin solo. Beautiful.
Hmm.
Back to classical music.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, dude, we're truly. I agree with you. I think Americans. I truly think we are. I didn't
And
used to believe it.
not a diss to American kids because there's probably a lot of smart.
Look at
There's a
the
ton of
music
smart
that's
kids.
coming out.
Yeah, but I mean, academically, forget music for a minute. I mean, how many kids can you have a conversation with about Viktor Frankl? If I was to pick,
You should.
eh,
We should do like a sociological study. Do it at work.
yeah,
Do it, and you tell me
every
how
young
many
kid
people you're able to do it with.
that kids in a now there is a psychologist teacher at the high school. I tell him what we're doing,
I
and
think I
he's
know who you're
really
talking about. Does he have glasses?
um sometimes yeah
I know who he is.
he's a
I think
really
he
cool
was my
guy.
AP Psych teacher in high school.
And I told him what we're doing, and he was like, "Oh wow, that's and we were talking about the Vienna schools and stuff." And he's like, "Are you a psych a major?" I was like, "No, it's just a hobby. I just got into philosophy and psychology to have better my life. But I would like to pick maybe 10 kids that fit that age group and say, hey, really quick question. Me and Devontae used to do this with Rush, and they would be
Right, right.
zero out of
No, well,
15.
Rush I get because
Yeah,
sadly Rock is dead and we
yeah,
have
yeah,
killed him, sadly. So that's
yeah.
but with timeless things like you said, like Frankel's book, Yeah, that would be a great idea if you can take like a sociological study and ask them, and you tell me the
Yeah.
statistic, how many people you were able to do this, especially with like the
Yeah.
young. And I'll be honest with you, I remember when I was in college,
Yeah.
I really got into like this literature class, and I began reading. I picked up a love of reading, and I was hungry for more knowledge.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The class, and I think I surpassed the class where the class was on the American Dream. And I realized, and I made a presentation using Mario Puzo's The Godfather. I read it. I watched
Yeah.
the movie, but I read the book. And I realized, and I made this insight that the American dream can be corrupted. A kid walked up to me, and it was kind of weird in the bathroom, a guy, and he tells me, "Why did you say that?" First of all, no, I thought no kids give an F.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, you said the American dream doesn't exist. Like, do you really believe that? And I'm like, hmm. And then he and I went in a really great conversation in the
Oh wow.
bathroom. And I should have gotten his number. Another experience happened to me when I think the kid was studying law. I was at Bridgeport, University of Bridgeport.
Yeah.
I just did my presentation, and I guess people saw it. Again, when I give presentations, I don't play. Like I make these connections. He
Right.
comes
Right.
up to me and starts saying, "Why did you say that?" Not giving me pushback.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
He and I are hungry for knowledge, and that was me,
Yeah.
like you said, with psychology. I love the field. I do love psychology to this day. Now, obviously,
Yeah.
there's a lot of pitfalls, sadly, and
Yeah.
it's not as perfect as I thought it was. And now
Right.
theology has taken over, and I realize that is the true wisdom that philosophy, psychology, for example, used to be metaphysics and philosophy. That's what it was. It was
Yeah.
called the science of the soul. How do we explain what we cannot see
Yeah.
using first principles and the natural world?
Right.
There's two types of theology. There is natural theology, which is
Hmm.
trying to explain the things of God using the natural world. We are going to use philosophy to do that. But then there's also divine theology, which is the study of the Bible and the truths that God has revealed, like, for example, our boy Pio and his mystic visions and
Right. Right.
revelation. So for me, I realized this is actually the true, I always like subscribe to that. And
Yeah.
I firmly believe that music, not today's music, but for example, like when you listen to, let's say, one
King
song.
David's music, man.
Oh, dude. Yeah, like if you heard the Psalms, the Gregorian chants were a take on how possibly King David sung the Psalms and
Yeah.
composed them on his little, string harp. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
apparently he was so beautiful. Like, first of all, he was a beautiful, the Bible tells that he was a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Top of that, he had a voice like an angel. And
Right.
apparently God created David a man after an image after his own heart. So
Wow.
David, when he started composing, you can just imagine. And he got so good that he hired choirs and told them, "This is how you're going to make music, make more." They started making
Yeah.
more, essentially becoming one of the first formalized Western music teachers, where he
Right.
started
Right.
teaching how to make a psalm. And eventually, this reaches the point where they had this prototype of the Gregorian choir.
Yeah.
Gregorian chant is the ultimate like fulfillment of this type of music. It's beautiful. And
And
when
and it leads up to Fate's Warning.
dude,
Like,
and heavy metal usage of that, and like the gospel.
dude, that Carrie, that woman,
How
that
it's
song's about her.
yes, Our
It's
Lady.
I never put two and two together.
Yeah, that's
That's
brilliant.
how.
Fate's Warning is brilliant for that. And
And
essentially, they are catechizing young metalheads into Christianity.
once again, how did I get into existentialism? Fate's Warning.
Fate's Warning, yeah, yeah.
There's a my favorite all-time album by them is No Exit. It's like 2112, you know.
And No
It's
Exit sounds like an existential album.
it's a movie that John Paul Sartre did.
Oh
It's
my
20
goodness. Yo,
it's about four people that are dead and they're in a room together.
right, right. It's brilliant. Right.
You know, um God, why am I getting
And I
Jim
forgot.
Mathe- Jim Matheos, the guitar player, taught me this. Older, and I was like 18, you know. I was like, no exit. And then, what's existentialism? And then as I got older and I discovered YouTube, I put the movie in and I watched it. Who's John Paul Sartre? Oh, existentialism. Thank you, Fates Warning. Now that they were talking about Gregorian chant, that song is about that person. It's fucking genius.
Genius
I know.
entering religion and hearkening back to perhaps a medieval innocent religion with Kyrie eleison, which is so beautiful in its simplicity,
Yeah,
voice, harmony, melody, haunting. I mean, every time I put tears every time I dare people not like you put on a Gregorian chant, how do you not have tears? Like,
I
and
know.
imagine
It's
hearing a
beautiful.
psalm from David's mouth. Like
I
I
know.
can only imagine what that would have sounded like, you know?
I know. I know. My God. All
Yeah,
right.
so this turned into a 5 hour. We knew
Um,
what was gonna happen, dude.
I knew it, but there's so much knowledge in this episode. It's unreal. So where was I? Creative values. Did I talk about that? Yes. Doing a task or hobby, right? We did that. Um, okay, here's one. Experimental values. By experiences, something or encountering someone. This includes experiencing oh, we did that one already.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, what? Uh, okay. What? I can't. Attudinal. Is that a word?
attitudinal.
Yeah. Attitudinal values. You ever heard of that? Maybe it's just my. Okay.
Explain it. Let's see.
So by the person you adapt towards unavoidable suffering, when you can no longer change a situation, you
Yeah,
are challenged to change yourself.
change it. Like, for example, like, and we talked about this. Temple, I get it. It's grueling, 8 hours.
Yeah.
But what about you change it? How about you, in your head, you start to treat the job like a game? Like,
Right, right.
like that's an example. Or like, listen, I know it sucks, but I'm gonna make it through because, I want to provide for my family. You're changing your attitude. Or,
Yeah.
you know what? All you got to put in work, and I'm gonna do the best job, 8 hours. I know it's
Yeah.
grueling, but I'm actually going to try and do a good
I
job.
I've done mind games like that with customers. And it might be twisted what I'm about to say, but when I get a bad customer,
Right. You
you
change your
know,
attitude about it.
know what I do? I'm like, bring it on. I make believe I'm a priest and they're possessed.
Yeah, that's a great
And
example.
so what I do is I try my best to get the demon to go away happily. So if they're like, I'm in a hurry. Can you cut that faster? And it's not thin. Yes. And I show it. Oh, okay. And you know what I mean? Instead of fighting back, like, well, you could say something like, well, I'm working as fast as I can, and I'm very busy too.
Right.
But I treat it like that, like because there's so many of those like demonic types of customers. I'm like,
Right.
oh, I'm gonna put my priest mask on right now, and I'm gonna fight you by
True.
doing exactly what you say, because
Yep.
you're
Yep.
not gonna break, you know. Um, okay. So key logotherapeutic techniques. Paradoxical and paradoxical intentions, wishing for or leaning directly into the exact thing you fear. I like this one. This breaks the cycle of anticipatory anxiety. Um, that's pretty much that. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Explain it one more time. What do you have in your notes?
That means- okay. Paradoxical intention. Wishing for or leaning directly into the exact thing you fear. This breaks the cycle of anticipate and anticip I can't speak. This breaks the anticipatory anxiety. So basically by leaning into the things you fear instead
Reverse
of running from them.
psychology.
There you go. Reverse psychology.
Yeah, it is brilliant. Yeah, like again, you
Now,
fear.
did he invent that concept or that was there
I
already?
think he came. Maybe it was already there, but he formed it into a theory.
Right. Just like the inferiority complex
With
by
Freud.
Adler.
Either, yes, yes, or the pleasure principle, yeah. Instead, he
Right.
said, but this is a technique of logotherapy where it's called paradoxical intention. You confront this, and paradoxically, it relieves symptoms. For an example, tell me something that you're afraid of.
Um, Honestly, in my life right now, after what I've been through, besides loved ones
Marriage.
dying, no, like besides loved ones dying, God forbid, knock on wood,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I fear. I fear nothing, or fear of losing my job. Okay,
Oh, so
that, like,
let's say that fear of losing your job crippled you,
yeah,
made you anxious.
right,
Well, what Frankl will do is like, okay, we'll try this. You're fired, Cheech.
right,
You can't work anymore. You'll be like, oh, that's it? Wait, you're gonna start thinking.
yeah.
I was expecting the worst, but yeah, like, all right. So I can,
Well, I've been through so much in my life, in the past 5, 6 years. That I lost fear, Manny. Seriously, I don't fear anything. I have,
okay.
I have no fear except for losing loved ones, and I lost my uncle last 2 years ago, and it was horrible.
Now think
So
about it, like losing loved ones, like that fear. How would you use paradoxical intention to help you?
I didn't even want to think about that. Like your
But, but, but,
parents and stuff. Like
now does it cripple you like with anxiety?
yeah, that would cripple me with
Well,
anxiety.
think about it. So how would you deliberately, like, let's say if you were a logotherapist, how
Hmm.
would you encourage a client to confront this? Like,
I don't know. That it's just too deep. Like my brain is too emotionally attached
so you
with
need to
feeling.
confront. So you could, and again, this is one technique, dude.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
essentially, what you would want to do is you want to. There's a lot of things there. I'm not sure if there's a fear of death there, but uh, you need to confront, um, or sometimes like, and that's a tough one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because the key thing here is that this is leading you to unhappiness in life, like this
Right.
fear. I think that's healthy. Of course, it's a
Yeah.
part
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a
of being
fear.
human. It is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
human condition, right?
Right, 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 right.
Not the unconditioned will. It's the human condition
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
are conditioned to live. I don't know what
Or
Crowley would say
or I
about
would
that.
say fear of my job, losing my job,
No,
because like 20 years ago, I would not. I actually was gonna quit the existential vacuum many, many times.
no, think
I've
about it.
even,
Let's do that. Like, let's say if you're a logotherapist, how would you help somebody if that produced crippling anxiety if you losing your job? How
well,
would you help them using paradoxical
well, you
intention?
could get another job.
How about like again, like one of the ways to do this is that we're removing the pressure. So, like a
Yeah,
great example in the therapeutic setting is let's say, all right, Cheech, you lost your job,
yeah,
you're fired.
yeah,
Let's say that's the fear you hearing it.
yeah.
It's yeah, yeah. You're fired. You're fired. You're a cook glove.
What do they call it?
You didn't use your cook glove.
They
You
don't
didn't
even
do code green.
they don't even say it's fired. It's called separated.
The
Fucking
separation,
talk.
yeah, it is. Well, let's say now
That's
you
so
would
stupid.
confront this, and I'm telling you, it's gonna relieve the symptoms because then you realize, okay, it's not
Yeah.
bad. Like if it happens, well, first
Right,
of all, it's
right,
not happening, but
right, right.
it's gonna remove some of the pressure.
But there was a time I did have that, and I still do, because I don't want to say his name, but somebody who started Amazon made these horrible rules. And
And look what it drove you to do. Look what happened. Like that.
right.
Now I'm not sure if those are unhealthy behaviors. But if it got really bad to the point where again, and the technique here in logotherapy, again, we're not removing it, but the
Yeah.
technique is where like client or somebody is encouraged to like intentionally, there is an
Yeah.
intention to confront, or you're going to exaggerate it. You're going to say, for example, you lost your UPT, Cheech.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
zero. You are fired.
Right,
Right?
right.
Now, what this is going to do, you're going to desire this. And now, Cheech, say that to yourself. Say, I lost my
Yeah.
UPT
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
fired. And then the therapist will say, how is it making you feel?
Right, right, right,
Right?
yeah.
And if it happens, right, it's this weird thing where you realize, wait, perhaps if it happens, it's not as bad as I thought it was.
But
Like,
it's scary now because the world we live in, because someone like me, middle aged, right?
but see, so you definitely need logotherapy, bro.
Middle aged man
You're the
going to,
fetus. That is a toxic belief that you need
but,
logotherapy.
you going into the world saying, yeah, I worked 30 years at the existential vacuum. And, I have
But see, but
35
now
years.
would that cause you to lose hope?
Yeah, because of my
If it
age.
does, you are on the path to giving up and on the path to danger. You cannot see. So in a logotherapeutic setting,
Yeah.
we would begin. You got a lot of issues, man. No, I'm kidding. But in a logotherapeutic system, and see
No,
this.
no, but think about it. If I lost, the job now, I would go to another store and they would say, "No, we're not going to give you what we don't give a fuck that you worked somewhere for 35 years and you're going to get like $17 an hour." Because the world sucks with the
It's
job
true.
market
It's true.
and they don't care. So there's a fear of that. So I'm content where I'm at. Although we're not happy 100%, but there's a contentment of like that paycheck coming in, and you got to deal with fucking jackasses all the time. But there's a fear
But
of
you see how that
being that
paradoxical intention
happening.
works.
But yeah, but I could always start an OnlyFans thing, so I'm good.
Yeah, man.
I could start an OnlyFans channel, so I'll be good. I don't got to worry about anything.
But you
But
see how that paradoxical intention works.
oh yeah, no, I suffer. I would suffer. Frankl would have a field day with me on that one with work. But other than that, like I have no fear of anything. I don't even fear death, to be honest. After my 6 years, what I've been through, death could come in my room tonight, and I'd be like, "Fuck you." Um. Okay, I like this one. Deflection shifting. Focus away from yourself, your symptoms, or your problems towards your goals and your external meanings, right? The deflecting technique,
Hmm.
which is kind of what we're doing now.
Yep. Yep.
We're, we have our problems or whatever. And I know every Thursday night, it's going to be a great night
Yep.
because it's like bowling night for some
Exactly.
people.
Take away from your unhappiness and anxiety and focus on you're going to be podcasting
Yeah,
tonight.
every Sunday night, we play free birds,
Yep.
so
Yep.
it's that kind of thing.
Yep. And then there's also like that cool idea of like self-transcendence. Like perhaps do something, find meaning in something larger than yourself. For example, like go out, coach a youth basketball game, go
Well,
volunteer.
yeah. Well, that's my thing. If you like sports and you're middle aged and you
Yep.
can't play it,
Dude, you can coach, man. You can give your time too.
coach.
I mean,
And
I
if,
know
if
it
you were,
sucks, like you're not gonna make money, but I
yeah,
bet you when you're working with kids, it's gonna bring a smile to your face.
and you're getting to do something you love,
Yeah.
teach,
Or teach space to
or
the
if you
kids,
or if
man,
you're
at a community
say you
setting.
were a ballerina or a great dancer, tapping jazz, go to a school and teach kids how to dance if that's even a fucking thing. I don't know. I don't know why I thought of that, but I had to think for ballerinas once. Um, anyway, okay, this is all you. Socratic dialogue. I'm not even gonna write my what I wrote.
Well,
Just
we've been doing it live.
yeah.
This is what it is.
I
It's
think
not,
every episode there's
dude. And to
every
make a comparison, and let's say we were in the Freudian chair,
yeah,
you would, first of all, you would be on the couch.
right,
I would ask you to face away from me.
right,
And the
right,
reason why is because Freud thought that if you don't look at the therapist, you're more willing to actually like talk more and right.
right.
I would say, all right, Cheech, what's the problem here?
Yeah.
Let's say, yeah, like let's say if I am afraid of okay, you said losing your job. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Well, let's delve a little bit back to your past. Like,
Yeah.
tell me about your childhood. And we
Right. Right.
begin there because we're gonna
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
figure out why you are a ball of neuroses. No,
but does it really come with the Freudian
well,
from
that's
your
the argument,
childhood?
but that's the argument. But in
Yeah.
Frankl, you would say, okay, you're facing him, more humanistic. We're gonna try to figure this out. Now, you tell me that you're afraid of losing your job. First of all, tell me, define me fear. What is fear?
Right, right,
Well,
right.
fear is it's gonna make you think. Um, what is fear? Okay. What does it mean to you? Losing my
Right,
job. You said that, but you have to define what is fear. What is
right,
fear?
right.
Wait a minute. I don't even know what fear is. Why am I fearing? And
Right.
this is the Socratic dialogue. It's
Now
great.
Freud wouldn't use that at all.
Freud would do something else. He would say that the fear is rooted in some sort of
Something
irreconcilable
that went wrong when you were
in your
5.
childhood.
Your
For
mother yelled
example,
at
you're
you,
afraid
and
of losing your job because you
because your father lost his job when you were
that
9.
could be a great
Right.
your father lose his job, possibly maybe commit suicide, which was sadly a reality.
Which
Now,
happened to
this has caused
wait,
you a fear.
Chessman. That was a
Another
Chessman.
one, yeah, and another one is money. You're afraid because you're afraid to be poor. Why? Because you grew up poor. As an example, another
Right,
one,
right,
you're afraid that you're going to be a failure because your parents didn't provide for you, and then if you lose this only source of income, you're not going to be able to provide your family. Hence,
right,
you have a lot of irreconcilable childhood
right.
trauma, emotions,
Yes. Yeah.
and we would get further back and associated with something sexual.
How how does that
You would
make
have
any
a
sense?
field day if you said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do OnlyFans." All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah,
We're
now we're getting
Freudian.
somewhere. Yeah. If he saw my drawer of Jugs magazines, Fred would have a fucking field day. He'd be like, "Yeah, let's snort some coke and let's talk about this." Now, how would Adler take it?
Adler is more like your inferiority complex. Your fear of feeling inferior because without a job, you're a loser.
Okay.
You're gonna feel like
My
you're a loser.
last my last page, and we could maybe
Yeah,
stop.
let's pause here, yeah, because I gotta watch a video from my other class. Is
Um,
that okay?
but I have the three Viennese schools. We could start off next time,
I love
getting
that.
getting deeper on that.
I love that. I love that.
But uh so I guess we'll wrap it up for
Yeah,
the night here. Okay. Um, but after we wrap it up, pause. I want to ask you something off camera. Just
sure.
don't. But so anyway, that's everything, man. This wraps
This was
up.
a great dude. This was great, man. We went from saying F you Rudy to
We
we
were
talked
all
about the
over the
tempo.
place.
We talked about video games like basketball.
Oh, it started off with basketball. Like it's always something so bizarre. Like I'm just on this old school basketball thing. That's my new hobby. I can't stop. Me and Glenn
That's
back
cool.
and forth.
That's cool. And look,
Yeah.
you guys you are joined in friendship and you're reminiscing. And that's good. You're doing something like you're
Oh yeah, because basketball made me so happy. I'm
right.
tapping into my inner child is what
Right.
I'm doing.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
because I loved basketball, and now as an adult, my
And tapping
body.
into that inner child, which is another thing. Now, Frankl didn't talk about the inner child.
Yeah,
But once you feel you have that childhood innocence of like, wow, this is making me so happy. That's
yeah,
a secret. That's when you
yeah.
unlock like,
Like
yeah,
I'm too old to play
of
basketball because
course.
I would my body would break down. But that's why I'm thinking about getting a Wii or something or downloading something on my
And you would be using
phone.
a Frankalian technique. I can't play
Yeah,
basketball, but I'm not gonna give up. I'm just gonna you play it
I'm,
by week.
I'll be by Rudy. That's a Rudy thing. I'll be the best Wii basketball. Rudy Rudiger. Um, but yeah, so
Rudy.
and I want to collect all the cards. I know I sound like a 5-year-old or 15-year-old of all my favorite players because I found the store. There's an amazing store. I wish I knew the name of it to plug it in Ardsley. It's a gaming store. But what they do is they have all. That's why I told you, I sent you the Pokemon card. I because like when I go with my kid, I get her games. But every now and then I'll pick up a Pokemon card. Not that I was a Pokemon person, but it's a memory of my kid because my kid would watch Pokemon and I would get a kick out of a specific Pokemon and I remembered them, so I would buy the card. But they had a bunch of basketball cards and they're cheap. So I'm gonna start collecting basketball cards. and try to find old basketball digests and stuff from when I was
Yeah,
a kid in the
perfect.
70s,
Yeah,
just for fun, just to do something.
that's the idea, man.
you know um and that goes back to logotherapy, like doing stuff like that, getting away from music. It's almost nice to getting away from music and doing something completely different, you know like even these shows. Like, I never thought in my life I'd be researching psychology, philosophy. My mind has grown on the next level. You've taught me so much about, psychotic dialogue. Like, I didn't know what that was, and it was probably used on me all the time from people, because
Mhm.
I've been through that. People are like, well, why do you do that? Why, doctors do that sometimes to you. They'll use that method,
Yeah.
you know you
They
know
had, yeah, that would make sense because they're learned. Like, so
yeah, yeah,
they must have taken some sort of uh
yeah,
class and stuff like that.
yeah. But yeah, man, this was great. So next time we'll start off with the three Viennese
We'll talk
schools,
about the Viennese schools, yeah,
and
and the
then
hate that Frankl got. Like, what's up with that?
yeah, and we'll get into will, because I think that's next on my list was will. I would have, it was give me 1 second. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. Ego. Wait, wait. What did we do tonight? I'm like brain fried.
Logotherapy?
Okay, we started logotherapy. Give me 1 second.
I'm surprised you're still like brain is still together after tonight,
Um,
you know?
oh, I know. Yep. Then I got will. So next time we'll do ego, and we'll go through the Vienna schools, and then at the very end I have will. His will, which might be recapping what we talked about, but
Yes,
I
but
got
it'll be a nice little like
but I got
summarization.
I got more stuff on it, on the will, and we can compare the will to Adler and Freud, if they even used it or not. So, but awesome, man. Another great Thursday night of this was long. We're probably at the 3 hour mark.
I'm gonna release this like probably. I'm excited. I want to see.
Yeah, this was great, man. Yeah, no, I'm really into the Viktor Frankl. I told you about a decade ago. I got the book, Man's Search for Meaning,
I
and
read it 2 times. It's a great
and it,
book.
it, cha it changed my life. I was going through a really hard time, and I was like, yeah, I remember Viktor Frankl, and I got heavy
He's
into
good.
him.
Yeah.
And I got into Jung as well. Jung
Yeah.
and Frankl were my, Rollo May. I got heavily into Rollo May too. I started to go down the wormhole in psychology, you know. Always had an interest in it, like what they thought, the different schools and stuff like that. And then, but I didn't have a teacher like you, or somebody who I could talk to that was intelligent enough to
Mhm.
to know. I did. My friend Bruce, but he, we were more into the occult and that kind of stuff, and Nietzsche and stuff. But psychology, like, I had nobody to talk to about it. I remember I brought logotherapy up to a therapist, and they were like, "What, are you nuts? This is 10 years ago. What are you, out of your
Right,
mind?"
right. And I'm assuming that you probably practice CBT. I did a thesis on using a tool to see which therapies produce the highest outcomes. And
Yeah,
based on that, CBT was reigning supreme. But one of the things I realized is because it's the one that everyone's using.
yeah, yeah. That's
It,
why.
but I remember before I kind of switched gears into the educative arts.
Yeah,
Um, I wanted to go to PhD clinical so I can do research in logotherapy, and you're reuniting it with religious or maybe like theology.
yeah.
That was going to be like my dissertation, like if I was going to go and
Wow.
revive the humanistic and like more of the transcendental.
Yeah. There's got to be people like us, though, into logotherapy out there.
Oh, of course. I met one. Sadly, I lost contact with her. Her name was Randy up in my drug counseling job. She and I
Yeah,
were existentialists.
Right, right,
And we were huge fans of Frankl, but she differed on my point. I think Frankl's religious. She said like, no, not really, because she was more of a humanist,
yeah,
existential.
yeah, yeah. Right, right, right,
I always say, yeah, but you're an existentialist because you lack the supernatural.
right, right.
Because you've
Are
heard
are there any modern day existentialists out there, you think? Or that's a lost art that's gone.
it's lost. Today is
It's like
more,
prog rock, right? You know?
yes, today philosophy, sadly, in the academic world is lost. Focus more on like analytic stuff, but stuff that doesn't,
Yeah,
continental philosophy is not that popular. Um, and in terms of what you just said about the use of like logotherapy and stuff like that also is non-existent.
yeah.
Um, the reigning supreme is. Wait, would you ask me? It was like which one? What did you ask me?
Existentialism.
Oh yeah, no, it's still popular.
Yeah,
Um, and with certain people,
yeah,
but
yeah.
are you talking about like today's like youth?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, today's youth is a mix of I would kind of argue like um uh algorithms, no
Right.
philosophy, no. Existentialism, kind of the continental tradition that
Yeah.
later too has philosophy. Kids are not learning philosophy.
No,
No,
no.
no. What they are learning is not getting replaced by not existentialism, but by scientism.
Yeah.
Science is the
And
ring.
did you send me something? You almost don't need to go to college. All you need to do is watch, you know, YouTube.
Yeah. No, the internet is wonderful because now you don't need, like back in the days, it made sense to go to college to learn from the masters.
Yeah.
But now you don't need to because and there are programs that are free or monthly basis that are much
Yeah.
better.
And
I
this isn't AI bullshit. This is actual people, which
no,
I like.
like I for example on YouTube is such positive, not the trending shite or
Yeah.
you know if you use YouTube, there is so much
Oh my
knowledge,
God. I know. I know.
and
Dude, you could send me a reel. I mean, to cut you off, a reel on Schopenhauer, and in that 4 minutes, I've learned so much
yeah,
about Schopenhauer.
yeah,
And that guy you
yeah.
did a thing on, I think you did a story. That English dude, he's famous. I watched
Oh, I
him.
love him. I love him. I love how you used to bring philosophers and talk about their great ideas, right? So I
Yeah,
like him. And sadly, in today's, I guess, like world, I guess we want to talk about like not our world because I'm kind of in the middle and you're like the 50s. These talks in terms of the academic world are
yeah,
the academic world is interesting. It's without going too much detail, there's a lack of philosophy and it's turned into more focus on um more of sort of a I don't even know how I would describe it. Like it's like yeah, it is nihilism. It's sort of nihilism. It's a little bit of communism as well.
yeah.
Well, that's coming out of the department where it's a
Crazy.
dismantling of tradition and rebuilding. Well, the professors are not really saying, and anti-religious to the point of hating on anything institutional religion and scientism, where they say, for example, like your passions, that's not your passions, that's your genes.
Right,
So,
right.
stuff like that. And you'll be like, well, I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
I play a bass like a mofo, so
I try. But that English guy, I remember watching him.
in today's show, we're going to
I,
talk
lo
about
I love him.
philosophy. Is Immanuel Kant? Like I love it.
And he
I
goes back.
love
I
his
think I think
series.
that's the 70s.
Oh, it's on YouTube,
But,
free. I watched.
but I caught it before YouTube existed. It was on the BBC channel, on
It's
channel 21. And I remember I was like, who's this fucking weirdo? And then he'd be talking about Socrates or I watched the one. He's got a great one on Nietzsche.
yeah,
That's the
with the
one
Nietzsche scholar, and he invited the
yeah.
best bright minds to talk about and
Actually, that's
philosophize.
how I learned about Nietzsche because
Yeah,
of that dude. I was like,
I
who I used to say Nietzsche. Who is
Nietzsche.
Nietzsche? What
I,
is Nietzsche? Who was the
I
guy
I
with the
remember reading
mustache?
Nietzsche. I've been knowing, and I'm trying to remember how I came across him, but he confused me because I, in philosophy, like I am definitely more of a classical philosopher
Yeah,
myself. Like I'm more of a, I would call myself like a modern day scholastic, where I
right,
truly
right.
believe that if you're gonna do philosophy, it's got to go back to like Aristotelian, Plato, and start from there because
Yeah, the big
that
three.
I don't like modern philosophy. I like existentialism, but I do have a
Yeah,
lot of problems. A
yeah,
lot,
yeah, yeah.
like a lot, like a lot. But uh, what's great about that BBC program is that again, and there's another guy on YouTube too. This is was so great. They used to talk about these ideas and really like flesh out. Like there was a great episode on Ludwig Wittgenstein, which is so great
Oh, I heard the name. Yeah, yeah.
about language and this idea of how language, for example, like the limits of your language is the limits. If you can't express in language,
Yeah,
what's the next step? I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
is it music? I don't know, but
yeah.
it's an interesting idea, right? But yeah, it's a great show.
I
Great show.
would love to. I would love to find a list of all the people he talks about.
Yeah. I
You know.
I would love to buy like the DVD set or something, like or like the whole
Yeah.
collection. I don't know if it exists, but
I mean,
YouTube does, but YouTube has a large collection of their episodes.
yeah. I wonder if
He
he
had
did
he had
Schopenhauer.
a really great one on Heidegger,
I
and
think I seen that one
it's
too back in
so
the day.
good because they explain these ideas
And he
and
brings these geniuses on. These
the
people were
scholars went back
excellent.
when people actually taught you something. Even though
Yeah.
and again like um but yeah, YouTube, you don't have to go to college. If you're gonna go to college, kids, do your research. Don't spend thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands on something that then you're gonna be depressed about because
Yeah.
you found no meaning in it. Do your research, but if you really are a an amateur scholar like us, YouTube, watch the Cheech
And
and Manny show.
I feel like I'm a psychology major now. Like, from just doing this and
You would
studying.
know more psychology than a psych major. I hate to say it.
That's
Let
crazy.
me
It's
tell you,
nuts.
I had without mentioning their name, I was with a
Yeah.
sister. We went out to and then invited a friend. Cool, you're a psych major. Whoa, so wait a minute. You're in the PhD program? Cool.
Really?
Tell me, who's your favorite psychologist? Okay. Carl Rogers,
Yeah.
Frankl. I was shocked. And you're in the PhD program.
What's his dissertation going to be on?
I have no idea. I've lost contact because my sister fought with this person for good reason, but
Wow.
going to Fordham, but this is the psych. They're kind of clueless. I mean, I hate to
Yeah.
say it. I mean, it's a club now, but yeah, no, you got to start with the basics. And I mean, I'm not against like the modern psych stuff, but dude, there's not really anything.
It's boring. It's
It
like
there
it
needs to
doesn't
be.
blend philosophy. This is all philosophy blended with psychology.
Psychology began with philosophy, and
Yeah.
again, and the ultimate end is, in my opinion, most people are not. No, I know they're gonna give me pushback because they're gonna be like, "Why do we God needs to enter the picture?" Well,
It goes
that
back to religion.
that makes all the difference because depending on which world you live in, that is gonna shape
Yeah.
your worldview.
Because you got to have faith in something. You got to
Exactly.
believe. You don't like, okay, if you don't believe in Jesus like us, fine, believe in God. If you're Jewish, believe in God. Or if you're Muslim, believe in Allah, believe in something. You know what I mean? Like in life, that's just my philosophy, you know. Um,
I think
I mean,
to
we know who I don't want to, come across as the evangelist, but
yeah,
we all know what side we're on.
believe in the good Lord and
I don't want to, say, yeah, I don't believe in whatever. Believe in what you want to believe. We believe
I
in Jesus.
yeah, I do. And anyone's gonna push back to me, break out your sword because I definitely truth logos and then logotherapy. The logos. What
Yeah,
is the logos? The
the truth.
divine word. Logos in the Gospel of John. John, who himself was a student of Greek thought and philosophy,
Right.
begins his gospel by saying God is the logos made flesh.
Yeah.
The
And
word.
And
Jesus is the word logos.
they wrote in Greek, some of those.
And they were writing in Greek because they were growing up in the Greek tradition. These were the Gentiles.
Yeah,
But
interesting.
yeah, man, this was really good, bro. Like,
This is phenomenal. My
it's like
brain is
this
flattered.
was like a college class. I feel like my
It
brain is just,
was, and it started off with old school basketball. Like I
I
love it.
don't know, it's
I
something
love
that I don't even know anything about.
where it ends.
Go, go Knicks.
Yeah, go Knicks. But don't hang up because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have a
But
question for you.
uh,
But anyway,
for our viewers
Thursday
out there,
nights.
yeah, Thursday nights for our viewers out there, for our let Cheech do his closing salvo.
Yep.
Our other British guy, here's my closing salvo. Have a good night and be good. No, I love his voice.
Yeah,
British people have the greatest voices.
I know.
Um, I love the guy, the philosopher. Today we're gonna be talking about Immanuel Kant. Now, Kant was a 17th century philosopher. Like,
He's amazing, that guy.
that's so amazing. I love how he has those big glasses and he's just like
So 70s and
so
scholarly.
so smart.
We gotta find his name. I gotta
Dude,
Wikipedia
and he
that
gave
guy.
no shites if you did not understand. He didn't bother
Yeah.
explaining. He was like,
And
so what is the categorical imperative and how is it relevant to these ideas of duty? And like, it's like, man, I love it.
and like now my idol is like when I'm talking to people or if people are trying to be wise asses or whatever. And Rand. I think about her in my head on Donahue.
And Randy, she speaks like $1 million, a million miles per hour and just doesn't let.
And Rand she gave no fucks. I love her. I love her for that, individualism, and she's I, I just love her. Even when she was rambling about stuff that it was so hard to comprehend, she made sense out of it, And Phil Donahue he's a great. Like, they don't have good
Yeah.
nowadays. Like, you got people that call themselves
Try putting a philosopher on Jimmy Fallon. Like,
yeah, yeah,
anyway, but
or the View, the worst show on television. Oh
oh,
God,
oh.
let's see.
Having a great let's bring a Heideggerian scholar on that and talk about
Yeah,
Daddy Zahn.
have
But
Anne Rand on the View. They would
oh,
love her.
that'll be great entertainment. But for our
Yeah,
viewers out there, please, if you made it this far, subscribe. We would appreciate it. Give this
yeah,
video a thumbs up and leave a
yeah.
comment. Leave anything. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yes,
Disagree with us. Again, we're not perfect. We're not perfect. Don't criticize, but be optimistic.
yeah.
Support the Cheech and Manny show, and then throwing it to Cheech.
And hopefully we'll get some Viktor Frankl fans out there. If you're interested in psychology, check out Logotherapy. Check out the Viennese schools of
And the
thought,
book Man's Search for Meaning, which you can get a good.
which is I think the greatest book ever written for psychology.
Can
You
be.
know,
Can be
you know,
one of them, yeah.
definitely. And on that note, Nanu Nanu, and go watch the movie Rocky and Rudy,
Yeah.
and uh, and
Eh,
follow your dreams. Follow your dreams, no
All your
matter what
dreams,
they are.
kids. Even
Don't-
if you just just tackle somebody like last 1 minute of the game.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
you made it,
you made
kid.
it.
Here's looking
Yeah.
at you, kid.
Don't get stuck at your 9 to 5. Pick a hobby: bowling, crocheting, whatever, cooking. I don't know, whatever floats your boat, as you say. So that just don't be.
Gosh, you better hope that Dahmer's not watching this.
Yeah. Don't fall into the existential vacuum of life, people. That's the key. You know what I mean? Don't fall into that existential vacuum.
Right.
But on that note, Manny, another amazing Thursday night of podcasting. We did a long run, good 3 hours on Viktor Frankl and many other things, and that about wraps it up.
All
So
right, man. I will catch you on the next one.
definitely
This is the Cheech and
continue.
Manny show signing off. This is Manny signing off.
I knew.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Take care.